What's up, everyone? Welcome to the 450th episode of the Pokemon Podcast. It's super effective. We have, I'm your host, SBJ.
Correct.
That is correct. We have a heck of a show for y'all today. We got a lot to go through, so...
Debatable. Possibly.
Everything happened in the Direct. I thought there'd be many more announcements for Pokemon.
Yeah, we saw like 2 60-second trailers, and we're going to spend about 60 minutes talking about the 60 seconds.
Each one. But also, I gripe that you guys promised me last week. It's recorded, documented, that you said we're going to have announcements every day next week.
We kind of did.
There was one announcement of dubious quality.
They announced a Pikachu weekend.
Yeah. There were other announcements. Look, promises were made and promises were not kept.
Promises
were
broken. All right.
Will is here.
As I promised you, I had two profound realizations. Number one, Sour Punch Bites, candy of the year. I have not enjoyed candy in easily 28 years. And I cannot get enough of Sour Punch Bites.
That was the real winner of Kanto Tour.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is this the big win out of our Kanto Tour?
But here's the first deep and profound realization, and this is directed towards Steve. Steve, which of the fried rices is your favorite fried rice?
The one with the egg in it.
Oh, he thought I was gonna. I could have sworn he was. Never wait. They all have egg.
They all have egg in it.
I was gonna swear that he's gonna say like, oh no, I don't eat no fried rice.
No, fried rice is the only rice I like.
Wait, what about
when you go to like the hibachi and they flip the egg and then they like dice it up and then they put the salt. That's some good fried rice.
Salt, and then they make the little volcano with the onion rings.
Man, I was going to be like chicken, pork, shrimp, beef, and he was going to be like, I don't eat fried rice because that's got a vegetable in it.
They normally have
proven wrong.
They normally have like carrots or something. You got to eat around those.
You don't.
What? You don't eat?
You can't eat a pea?
No, I mean maybe. Well, look, when I go to like Panda
rice
Express,
is my number one food.
The pinnacle of Chinese food.
We had this discussion last week. It was Lian Chin.
Lian Chin. You had an option to go to Lian Chin's and you skipped it. Irene and I had delicious Lian Chins, and you had a rocket burger of dubious quality.
It was not the best. Greg also here.
Hi, I'm here representing Lian Chin's, a local Chinese fast food restaurant that is way better than Panda Express.
Okay, before we get to the Pokemon news, when I was standing in line at that Johnny Rockets, the lady in front of me said, "Hey, can I get the bacon cheeseburger, but with..." She said, "Can I get the bacon cheeseburger with no bacon?"
Okay, so I have... okay.
Yeah, ma'am, you could do that. Totally.
So the thing is, I frequent another local restaurant here called Blue Door Pub.
Yes.
Which has nice wings, decent wings. They literally do not have a single burger on their menu that does not come with cheese automatically. So I frequently have to order the kids' cheeseburger without cheese because it's the only way to get a regular hamburger.
Is this a Chinese place?
No.
Yes.
What?
Yes. Blue Door Chinese restaurant and hamburgers.
I have never eaten at a Lian Chin's.
Lian Chin's fast food is not as good as the old sit-down restaurants used to be, but they're a better quality than Panda Express. Not a high bar, but still a bar that they easily clear.
Well, I will have to try them because my local Chinese... this is what started it all, right? That right. I was so incredibly disappointed because I ordered rice noodle soup with chicken, and to me that means you get like a soup with rice noodles and some chicken in it, and it was like literally like some wet rice noodles with like chicken and snow peas put on top.
Quality.
Yeah, how do you even call that a soup?
Did they send a separate thing with broth and forget it?
Buddy,
Is this
we
the place
can't
that's
keep talking about chicken and rice.
We can.
I mean, we
believe
could.
me, we can talk about chicken and rice for a long time because rice is my favorite food. Chinese is one of my favorite all-time cuisines.
Is this something that Greg and I have in common? White rice is my favorite food in the world.
It is the best thing.
Japanese style
ever.
sticky white rice is my favorite food in the world.
I only like Chipotle because of the rice component.
Do you know what goes great with rice?
Post Malone?
Post Malone. I was going to say music, but yeah, Post Malone also works. Okay. Let's do the Pokemon 25 music first, and then we'll do the Diamond and Pearl, and then we'll do the Legends, and then we got a lot to talk about.
Are we going to give our reviews of Pokemon Kanto Tour?
Yeah, we'll do that
close
too.
Out on Kanto Tour.
I think we start off with the Post Malone stuff because that was literally last night, fresh on our mind. This is the Pokemon press release here. Pokemon announces a collaboration with J Balvin and unveils plans for P25 music album, which is a compilation album featuring Katy Perry, J Balvin, Post Malone, and more. It will be released by Capitol Records in the fall of 2021, so now we have a date of when that music is coming. The P25 music program details revealed following the virtual music concert with Post Malone, including additional collaborations with trend-setting new artists as Pokemon celebrates 25 years. And it kind of goes on saying, these artists will each release a song of the delights of fans around 25 years, and Pokemon is this journey, and it's a pretty boring press release. But that being said, I didn't know who J Balvin was last night.
Neither did I. Yes.
They are a Latin American artist. I believe that has won 4 music awards.
Of what type? Music awards from where? Grammys?
I know. I was like,
Grammys, that kind of stuff.
People's Choice, Billboard.
They won 5
MTV.
Billboard Latin Music Awards, 4 Latin Grammys, 2 MTV Music Video Awards, 4 Latin American Music Awards, 2 Grammy, and received 2 Grammy nominations, and won a bunch of other stuff in Latin America. So they're 35. They have worked with Bad Bunny, Sean Paul, Pharrell Williams, Rosalia, Cardi B, Rose.
Wait, he seriously did something with Rosalia?
Yeah. That's what it says. Those are the associated acts. DJ Khaled.
I mean, I do know most of these except for that first one you said.
It makes sense. Pokemon's a worldwide brand to have artists from around the world, especially since we know that there's a big Latin America Pokemon audience, specifically with Pokemon Go. I think Pokemon Go is huge in Latin America, so it makes sense for this album that will be released. I'm assuming we're going to get a Japanese artist and a Korean artist, maybe BTS, I don't know. But yeah. Maybe some Shakira.
Oh,
I feel like Shakira would be on the album.
Oh yeah,
people like Shakira more than Katy Perry, right?
Well, that's hard to say.
Yes,
that's a difficult territory to wander into.
Hips don't lie.
I mean, people like what they like, and there's all different tastes for music. So, okay,
Will, give me your thoughts. Post Malone concert.
So I enjoyed it quite a bit. I don't know. I mean, the overall experience, I really did like. I had fun. I think that the whole way that it was animated and everything was what they chose for the animations was great, fun. The Gyarados was really exciting and entertaining, and the different the stampeding Ponytas or Rapidashes going across the plains, whatever. My biggest reaction to the actual Post Malone, though, was like, I think the best way to say it is, I guess hands really are difficult to draw because there was something wrong with the hands on that CGI character there.
I don't think I noticed.
Like, they're just not good at drawing humans. They're really good at drawing Pokemon, but not humans.
Yeah, I will give Pokemon props for making this an event, and they really did hype it up. And I was really excited. I streamed it, even though I streamed it in a way where it was okay to stream it, which was, hey, you can look at my face and you can hear me.
You can hear me talk, and on a different tab, watch Post Malone.
Right.
Because I which I didn't do because I was doing other things, but I did watch the Post Malone concert after.
Yeah, and we had a lot of people in stream and very excited, and then all of a sudden, 4 songs later, he was like, "Thank you, have a good night."
Yeah, I wish it had been longer.
I have a couple of things. One, I sort of thought there might be more actual Pokemon music and not here are 3 Post Malone's hits and the weird cover of Hootie and the Blowfish that he made. Sort of Pokemon related, and it has
Pokemon music in it.
It has Pokemon music in it, but what does that song have to do with?
I don't think the song itself has to do anything. M2M's song didn't have anything to do with Pokemon back in '99.
Yeah, I mean, I was just sort of like, oh, it's these 4 songs.
Well,
okay.
because it's like. Because remember when Ash and Pikachu were dying because Marshadow powered up the evil Pokemons, and then Pikachu turns to Ash and says, "I just want to be with you," right? Because that's why he wouldn't go in the ball. So I only want to be with you. There you go. I answered the mystery.
Okay.
Only like 2 years late.
Look, it's a log scam.
It was a log scam. I loved the backgrounds. There was an entire section where he walked with his hand on his hip that looked exactly like Rosalia from Colosseum. I was very into that. I found his pants animation. I couldn't tell if they were supposed to be plastic or leather. But
pleather.
They were slightly, they were slightly distracting. I liked all the backgrounds. Like the world they did was amazing. It's just I felt like there should either be more songs, or I guess I just wasn't expecting a Post Malone concert set in the Pokemon world.
And yet that's exactly what they advertised,
I thought
wasn't
there'd be
it?
a stronger connection. There wasn't. I enjoyed it mostly, but what saved it was Jigglypuff at the end. That 100% saved that entire experience for me.
I didn't think it needed saving. I enjoyed the whole thing, but I will say that Jigglypuff at the end was really cute.
But the worst part about the whole thing is just how short it was. It
was really short, which was fine. I don't know that I could have taken.
I thought it was going to be at least 45 minutes.
I don't know that I could have watched that for an hour.
I could have. The backgrounds were awesome. And me not being a huge Post Malone fan, I was like, oh, I've heard this song before. I didn't know it was his song. The week before, I did look up a couple of his songs, and I was like, oh, yeah, I've heard this before in a commercial. So
all of them were in and out of my brain in an
part
instant.
of the problem is, I think, number one, Post Malone to start with was an odd choice because not a G-rated, PG-13 even rated performer, right? The majority of Post Malone's music is not for the general public's consumption.
Well, radio edits.
Okay.
Yeah. You throw that up on the radio.
Concert with your radio edits.
But they were radio edits, right? Circles is not. Circles does have a couple
spices.
It has a couple of blue moments in it, yes.
But my expectation. Okay, so I would say my high level expectation was that it would be he would get to a certain point and be like, and here's Katy Perry. And then Katy Perry would do a song or two. Because we knew Katy Perry's involved, right? But at the very least, to have 1 or 2 other artists perform songs as well. And just
There was at least one other artist on that stage, and they didn't let that artist perform.
I really thought he was going to do
other artist on that stage. Okay,
even though he did 4 songs, because that's what they tweeted the set list.
The set list.
He did 4 songs. I really thought he was going to do like one Pokemon song, like the Pokemon theme song or something. Not maybe the Poké Rap because that's a little corny, but
I thought there would be at least one remake, like he already did a cover. I thought, they'll do another cover of another one of the famous songs, and that just didn't happen. So I think that's what made me feel weird about the whole thing, because it was just like, the only reason I'm attending a Post Malone concert, a thing I don't have any interest in, is for Pokemon backgrounds.
Yeah, I could see if you're not a fan of his music, you're just like, oh, there's Charizard flying around.
There's Slugma. There's the best Umbreon bop into the music, which is the highlight of that whole section.
Oh, yeah. No. The Shinotics.
Oh, yeah, the Shinotics were
glowing.
There's a lot in there. There was a lot. The backgrounds were great, but again,
that
felt
almost
weird.
made it to Pokemon of the Week here. That's how good those Shinotics were.
I don't know who animated it, but it was really well animated. And I don't know. I think it was animated better than it should have been. Like, I had pretty low expectations, and they kind of went all out on the animation side. But I also feel like they were like, we have a budget, and the team was like, okay, cool. Okay, we ran out of budget, so like we could only maybe do like 14 minutes. We were aiming for an hour, but we could only animate 14 minutes. We're out of money.
I don't know. It kind of that makes me like think of back. And of course, only Greg will understand me when I say this. ABC News paid to have a computer animation of the Earth spinning as the intro to ABC News, and whatever company was paid to do it had the Earth spinning in the wrong direction.
In the wrong direction. Forever.
And it's like they could never pay. It costs so much money to make, they couldn't fix it. I don't know. Rendering graphics is takes a lot of processing.
Okay. Well, let's move on to the big news here. There was a Pokemon Presents on Friday morning or afternoon if you're in the UK, or at night if you were in Japan. We'll just go through the whole press release first, and then we'll break it into the 3 parts, because the Presents really showed 3 games, and that was kind of it. It says, today during the Pokemon Presents video presentation, Ishihara, the president and CEO of the Pokemon Company, announced the new Pokemon Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, and Pokemon Legends Arceus video games coming to the blockbuster series that span 25 years. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl will launch late 2021, and Pokemon Legends Arceus will launch early 2022. All 3 games will be exclusive on the Nintendo Switch systems. In 2006, trainers were introduced to the Sinnoh region with the release of Pokemon Diamond and Pearl on the Nintendo DS system. Players can once again visit the Sinnoh region in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, which are faithful remakes of the 2 iconic Pokemon games. Pokemon Legends Arceus will introduce fans to the Sinnoh region of old, before the existence of Pokemon trainers and Pokemon leagues. In this long gone era, that players will embark on an entirely new adventure to create the region's first Pokédex. Quote, trainers caught their first Pokemon in 1996 and began an adventure that lasted 25 years through 8 regions, many different platforms, countless Pokemon encounters. They strive to be the very best, said Ishihara. We hope fans of all ages will continue creating new memories while exploring the Sinnoh regions in this new game. More details about the highly anticipated new Pokemon Snap were also shared. Okay, so each game one by one. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, developed by ILCA, or I think that's what they said in the presentation, or ILCA, directed by Masuda. of Game Freak.
Co-directed, yeah.
Well, look, I'm going through the press. Directed by Masuda.
You can say co-directed.
It doesn't say...
Well, okay, you're just reading. Okay.
I'm just reading. Yuichi Udia from ILCA are the two directors. Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl enable fans to experience the original story and game features from Diamond and Pearl in a fresh way. The original games have been faithfully reproduced and colorfully revitalized for the... I'm just going to move on.
Just move on.
The
move
sense
fast.
of scale and towns of roots have been carefully preserved, and fans who played the original games will recognize many familiar places. The games are updated with easy-to-understand, player-friendly conveniences introduced in recent Pokemon Core Series video games, in addition to up-close and personal Pokemon battle scenes. Trainers can choose Turtwig, Chimchar, Piplup, find Dialga, Palkia. Moving on, they have all the stats for these Pokemon. We're going to skip through that. Okay, Pokemon Legends Arceus. The fun of exploring while catching Pokemon and filling a Pokédex has always been a core part of a Pokemon video game series. Pokemon Legends Arceus was developed with the desire to deliver an experience infused with a new action and RPG elements that go beyond the framework established thus far, while honoring the core gameplay of past Pokemon titles. As trainers explore the natural expanses in Pokemon Legends Arceus, they will encounter Pokemon that call these grand vistas home. To catch wild Pokemon, players can study the Pokemon behaviors, sneak up to them, throw Pokeballs. Players can also battle wild Pokemon with their ally Pokemon by throwing the Pokeball, holding their ally Pokemon near a wild Pokemon. Players will seamlessly enter a battle. The new gameplay angle is intended to provide trainers with an immersive experience. Pokemon Legends Arceus brings trainers to the vast Sinnoh region as it's existed in the past, long before the setting of Diamond and Pearl were established. Rich in nature and with Mount Coronet towering at its heart, this is Sinnoh unlike anything trainers have experienced as they embark to create the region's first Pokédex. As they start off their adventure, trainers will be able to choose Rowlet, Cyndaquil, Oshawott as their first partner Pokemon. These Pokemon arrived with the Pokemon Professor, he doesn't have a name yet, who encountered them on the research to these various regions. Spoilers for this game. Rowlet evolves into Decidueye, Cyndaquil evolves into Typhlosion. We know the final evolutions. And then finally, the new Pokemon Snap was announced, a video game that takes the role of budding Pokemon photographer in the Lentil region. They will work with Professor Mir, the region's expert. The game will be available on April 30th. I actually don't think this press release says anything new, but we did see new things in the...
Well, how is lentil spelled?
Lental.
Yep.
Oh, lentil. Because all I could think of was like the little
bean.
Bean pea things. Yeah. They're real tasty.
Okay, we're going to be like all over the place here.
Because you're going to keep us organized.
Yeah. Follow the outline we didn't make.
I feel like the actual biggest news from this entire event isn't Diamond and Pearl remakes. That's like saying that the sun will set every day. That's true. We all know it's going to happen. Pokemon Arceus isn't that surprising since we've known for quite a while that that the RPG elements were being worked on. I remember on the show we covered like, oh, they're copying the Yokai Watch system, or oh, they're copying Digimon Cyber Sleuth system. Like that was a very loose rumor. I think the biggest news is Game Freak is using another studio to make a main series Pokemon game.
Well, that's part of it, but I kind of have like my spider sense intuition of why that is happening.
Which is?
But I mean,
which is what?
Okay. So this is my overall theory. This is my overall theory of what we saw.
Tell me why
Friday
I
morning.
Love Computer Art, the company,
I love computer art. That's
what
really what it
for.
stands for.
ILCA stands for I love computer art.
Should we talk about, before you gather your thoughts, Will? We can gather them up. I do have the Self Nintendo Life, some history about ILCA, the Japanese studio working. So this will be our first part of the podcast. We're going to talk about ILCA, which will probably lead into these two games. ILCA is a Japanese studio headquartered in Tokyo, in the Shinjuku district. They have 3 offices. They have one in Shinjuku, Nagoya, and Kyoto. Naganadel, and then Kyoto. It was established in October of 2010. They are a CG-based video company with a focus on animation, movies, and television. And then they incorporated video games after the fact. And as of 2020, they have 288 employees. And I believe Game Freak had around 250 employees during the development of Sword and Shield.
So it's no surprise that the games look very much like the new Mewtwo movie, the CGI one that we never got, as far as I remember.
ILCA stands for...
Didn't that come in... Did that come to Netflix?
Maybe it did.
Yeah, the Mewtwo movie came to Netflix. Okay. ILCA stands for I Love Computer Art.
Computer art. I already covered that. Thank you very much. Yep.
That was not a joke by Greg. That's actually what it stood for. They did work on Pokemon Home. And they have worked on regular games, augmented reality titles, virtual reality games, and various stuff, including a Domino's pizza app featuring Hatsune Miku. They are also associated with, when they say associated with in this article, this article is from Nintendo Life, by the way. I'm not sure if that means they were the main developer. I don't think so. But it says they assisted and with Yakuza 0, Dragon Quest 11, Nier Automata, Naruto, was my Naruto good? Naruto
Shippuden, Ultimate Ninja Storm 4,
and Ace Combat CS7's, going from Ace Combat to Pokemon. And that's pretty much it. That's, they've worked on other games. They worked on Pokemon Home, which that's not a real good thing. That's not a star thing to have on your resume, but it is a thing. Okay. So going back to Will, your thoughts on ILCA.
All right. I think, let me put it this way. And what I may make a statement here that we then have to come back to later. Number one, I now accept that it is unlikely. No, I'm not going to put it that way. Here's what I'm putting together in my head. The exact thing that, who is the guy who is not the president of Pokemon, but the other guy who was doing the presentation? That guy.
Ishihara?
Who's that guy? No. The younger guy.
Oh, the second guy that came through. Yeah, I don't remember what he was. That was the first time I feel like he was ever in a direct.
That's why I can't think of his name. So what he specifically said when they announced the Pokemon Legends Arceus, right? He said, a new era of Pokemon games begins.
Sure.
That's specifically what they said. So from my perspective, the piece of having a different company do the remake or update, it's not an update, it's just
a remake.
Almost like it's a reskinning almost of Diamond and Pearl, and having them then make that statement, a new era of Pokemon games begins. I take that as Pokemon, the main Pokemon, Game Freak, Creatures, Pokemon Company International, whoever else is in that mix. They don't want to do these kinds of games anymore.
I don't think that's it.
Let me finish my statement.
Okay.
And they will outsource those games to companies that they can trust that will take the IP that already exists, and that if we are going to get a Gen 5 remake, it's going to be the same kind of thing. It'll be some other company that will take the core property and update it for whatever system it's going to appear on. And then the Pokemon Company is going to focus, and it's going to be just like this step by step that we've been taking of wild area. All right, let's do something that's all wild area. Okay, now it's like the entire game is wild area. And we want it to be more of this MMO RPG looking type thing, rather than you are on rails in this story. You've got to go gym, defeat, and then see whatever other story, big, bad, evil is there. It's we want to move away from that.
But MMORPG or open world game is not automatically better than game that is linear. Like, I don't know why.
I didn't say better or worse. I just said they don't want to do linear game anymore. So that's why they said a new era is beginning, because it's like, we're going to be doing Breath of the Wild. We're not going to be doing they did Pokemon Quest. I don't buy the theory that like they're tired of doing Pokemon. I think the actual so if we were to go back to complaints prior to Sword and Shield, the complaint was like, this game is rushed. Why doesn't Game Freak hire more people? Why are they rushing this game? I wish they didn't come out with Pokemon games every year. They should take their time. Like, Pokemon games are coming out every year, and like, this is why they're bad. Like, these are all like the complaints you normally read. And instead of Game Freak just hiring more people, which is one, not easy, not easy for a lot of things. You got to find people. You got to have a place for those people. You got to train those people. Like, it's just not something that happens overnight. But also, as a company, maybe they just don't want to hire more people. Like, as a company, they might be content with like, we have 200 some people working here. We don't want 250 because they don't have to, right? Like, they're a private company. Yeah. They don't need to do that if they don't want to. But what's better than hiring more people? How about we just have a whole nother studio making a game? And I don't think, like, if you look at other game developers like Call of Duty, they have 2 people working on different games, so they have enough time to put out Call of Duty every year. But that doesn't mean that either studio hates working on Call of Duty. I don't think that Game Freak in general is like, oh, we're so sick of making linear Pokemon. They made Pokemon Quest, and it was like one of the most delightful games ever, and it was very unique to what they've done before.
What I think, I'm sort of a little bit on Will's side. What I think what they're pointing out is things like remakes, things where the game is already established, things where they don't need to push in a new direction. They don't need to design new Pokemon. They don't need to, like, remakes are already established. They have what's in those games. They have a huge pool of already established assets. I think what they're saying is we are now freeing ourselves from keeping that in-house and allowing other companies to take on the remakes and other things that use existing assets, and we are now going to focus much more on what we're going to make in the future, the new games that are coming, the new gens, the new
something transformative, new mechanics. Right?
I mean, other Nintendo studios and other studios in general have resourced out their older games so they can keep working on new games. Like, hey,
and I think that's what they were talking about. I think they're stating, like, this is our first time we're going to give an entire remake to a different company, and that's probably what we're going to do going forward, because we don't need to remake those games.
Right.
We are now going to make the Gen 9, the Gen 10, and that doesn't mean that they aren't going to make other games like Conquest. I think they're still going to be the ones that are going to push. They're going to be the icebreaker, right? They're going to be the ship that's in front deciding what the path is, and they'll hire people to take care of the stuff that's been established. But I still think Game Freak and all of that is still going to be the main driver of what new will come in the game series.
Yeah, but I agree. But I would say slightly differently from that. The 2 things I would say that are slightly different from that. Number one, the Diamond and Pearl remakes are not Oris, right? Brilliant Diamond. I don't even know what the Pearl one is, because
Pearl.
They just said Shiny Pearl.
Yeah,
it's not Oris, right? They are not taking. And this is some complaints that I've received from people, right? They're not taking the current state of the game. They're not taking Sword and Shield and then using that as like the template or using Diamond and Pearl as a template for Sword and Shield type mechanics. There's not going to be a wild area around Mount Coronet, right?
We don't know. There could be.
We don't know.
I think that they made it, like they said so many times,
it's
that
a faithful.
You will recognize all these different pieces. I think what they mean by conveniences, for like updated conveniences, is like probably no HMs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, updated convenience is probably no HMs. The PC is with you everywhere. Rare candy level 100 trick where you can evolve. Like every quality of life they did in Sword and Shield.
Right.
Those kinds of things. But I doubt we'll see Dynamax. I doubt we'll see Mega Evolution. It's going to be like what was available in the Diamond and Pearl world is what will be available.
I don't know about that. Like they could have just one arena at the end of the game where you can just Dynamax in. They could just do that.
I mean, I'll put my money down. I will be shocked.
I think they may add those things post game like they did for a lot of things.
Like Sun and Moon.
Like Sun and Moon had Mega after you completed the game. They may add in Dynamax and
it's not like you're Dynamaxing on a route or you're Dynamaxing in the wild area. You're specifically Dynamaxing in set locations. Like it's way easier to control than Megas.
You're going to find it. But the other half of what I believe about this is, and right, you don't have to agree with me. There's literally no science to be done here. Right?
I disagree.
We will not know until the future occurs. But I honestly believe that this is them saying we will not be doing these kinds of games at all anymore.
I mean, right? that's like fine though.
I'm very happy with this. I'm thrilled.
If Game Freak is like, we have 250 people, and we know that Game Freak has two teams. They have an A team and the B team, and during the development of Sword and Shield, they said the A team was working on... Well, they specifically said the A team isn't the main team. They just have an A team and a B team. But they said the A team was working on Little Town Hero, and the B team was working on Sword and Shield. And during that development, people from the A team and people from the B team mid-development would switch to carry over ideals and gameplay mechanics and, to keep it fresh so they're not working on the same game for 3 years. So, like, if they have two teams still... Because I don't think they hired any people. I don't think any company is really hiring a bunch of people during a pandemic. But if they still have two teams, the general thought process was, okay, one team was working on Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. One team was working on Sword and Shield. Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee came out. A year later, Sword and Shield came out. Team is working on DLC, which came out all of last year. So the thought process was, okay, that other team must be working on Diamond and Pearl Remakes, while this other team is finishing up DLC. But now we know that isn't the case. So they can make... You're
right.
They can make... There is probably a team right now working on Gen 10. So we have...
But either way...
Sorry, not Gen 10. We're just skipping 9. We're just skipping 9.
But goodbye, 9.
Fundamentally, what I'm saying is, whatever the future of Pokemon games is coming from the Pokemon... It will not be... You're presented with 3 starters. I
think Gen 9 will be. You're presented with 3 starters. You're going through the route. You're doing 8 gyms. There's not even gym leaders. The Arceus is a single player game. There is no online component to it. That's said on the Japanese website. There's no battling other trainers via the internet. There's no local battling that we know of because it specifically says on the Japanese website it doesn't. There are no gym leaders in this game because they don't exist.
Yeah, I think that still anything that we get in the future is going to be more of sort of choose your own path side quests.
No,
maybe like
I think this is just a main
series
series game that is not the same as a main generation game like Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. Like Let's Go Eevee, Let's Go Easy is still a main series game, but it's a little bit different.
I don't think you're going to convince me. I think when they said a new era of Pokemon games begins, I think that they're really saying we're closing the book on doing these
No, there's no way Gen 9 doesn't
think
introduce 100 new Pokemon. You pick 3 starters, you become the champion, you pair a TV show with it.
February 28th, 2021. We'll see.
I think people have this mindset of like sorry, Pokemon fans, you're really uncreative. Like the problem with something like Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, when it came out, while it was a different Pokemon game, it was still a Pokemon game that shared similar beats as other Pokemon games, right? Just like this Arceus game, you'll be able to catch, you'll be able to train, you'll be able to explore. Like those are beats of a Pokemon game. No one goes that like Spirit Tracks, or what was that other Pokemon game or Zelda game? Not Minish Cap, the Phantom Hourglass. those two specific Zelda games were completely controlled with the stylus. There was no D-pad. You can even look at a game like Skyward Sword, completely in motion control. And those are still considered main series Zelda games, even though they did something different. And Pokemon games have started to do that in the sense of like, Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, main series Pokemon game, but you use motion control. And this seems to be a main series Pokemon game, Arceus, because something Joe from Cerebi said something on the Japanese website signified that it would be. I couldn't find what that is, and he wasn't very clear. But I trust him in that regard. Also, it's being made by Game Freak. But it doesn't have to always match up. Just like we don't have to ever get a Let's Go Johto or a Let's Go Sinnoh, because we didn't, like, not every Zelda game after Skyward Sword was forced in motion control, right? Like, we don't have to follow these patterns of one-off games. Sometimes a company just wants to try something new, and that's fine. And then they go back to, like, how could they not go back to, you pick 3 starters, you go through 8 gyms, you beat a champion. I don't know, that formula sold 20 million copies. Like, it's very proven over the 25 years that formula works very well. Just like in a Mario game, it works very well to say, hey, collect all these things. If you get enough of them, you fight Bowser at the end. Cool.
Look, even Stephen King has stopped writing horror novels.
I mean, has he though?
No, I'm kidding.
Come on.
I just feel like my sense that I'm getting is that they are tired of making the same game over and over and over again, and they really want to take it in a completely new direction.
I don't think so.
Without looking back.
I don't think so.
I think Sword and Shield, a little thin compared to past Pokemon games off the bat, but with the inclusion of the DLC, which is always the argument in video game culture, the DLC should have been here the whole time. But like, the Isle of Armor, in my opinion, is probably the best. Like, the actual area is like the best part of Sword and Shield, like being able to explore entire.
Crown Tundra is better.
Nah, Crown Tundra is weird because you can't do it.
Crown Tundra is so much better than Isle of Armor. Get out of here with your garbage takes.
But the forest, the little swamp area, the Sharpedos. We all love Sharpedo.
No, we don't. That's awful.
The Honeycomb Island.
That whole section is terrible. I hate going into the water.
Running into tentacles and Hoenn.
Okay, like I predicted, we're all over the place. We haven't talked about a single game here. I don't think that we're going to take a break here in a second, but I think that ILCA helping or being the new, like they worked on Pokemon Home, which is not a great thing in my opinion to be like, hey, we worked on Pokemon Home, because I don't think Pokemon Home is as good as it can be.
Look, your resume can either include facts or lies.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I don't think Pokemon Home. I think Pokemon Home suffers from it doesn't know what it wants to be, and it could be.
Let's look at the words ILCA and Pokemon Home. Right. I will bet you dollars to donuts, which is a phrase I hate saying. ILCA did the graphics for Pokemon Home, and you know what? The graphics that are in there aren't that bad.
Well, if they did
I don't think they designed how it works.
Yeah, maybe.
I think so.
Yeah, I guess we don't know the full.
Yeah,
the full scale of that. I think though, like if at the end of the day, even if you don't care about what company is making what game, which probably the majority of people who walk into Target or Walmart and buy a Pokemon game and play it, like, those people don't care, right? Like, I think though that this solution was better than what 16-year-olds on Reddit was screaming about, which is like, hire more people. Like, the solution of let's have another company help us do these games, one, so we can continue putting out Pokemon games every year, and two, neither of these teams are consistently underwater, because the actual takeaway here is the Pokemon Company itself is this huge machine that cannot be stopped. It keeps moving forward every year. There's TCG sets every 3 months. There's a brand new anime every single year. Every year they put out a movie. There's nonstop merch. And they cannot have a game stop because that stops everything else that goes along with it. It stops the merchandise, It stops the TCG, it stops the anime. And once you stop those things, all of a sudden those voice actors are not getting paid. All of a sudden those distributors are not being able to order cards and ship them over. All of a sudden the people working on the movie have to like twiddle their thumbs. Like, you're stopping so many things that not only are you stopping things for your customers, you're stopping things for the people who rely on that as a job. So I think like this is the best of both worlds of, we have another company in here to alleviate and give both studios more times to make a better game.
Can I have one request?
Post Malone concert over.
For 2021, can we stop referring to Reddit as having a valued opinion on anything? Like, it's 11% of the internet populace uses Reddit. And that's such a small market.
Okay,
and the
Reddit.
Fact that's like,
why is it like
Reddit
everybody I know is on there though? It's like, that's so disappointing.
Like, they aren't a huge segment of the populace.
No, I mean,
or
their boycott for Sword and Shield really worked.
It didn't do anything. Like, we keep talking about Reddit like they're important. It's not. Just my one wish, if we could stop thinking that anything that Reddit has to say is really impactful in any manner, that would just make me happy.
So did you read on Reddit that...
No, I don't read Reddit. There's nothing interesting there ever.
I think it's just the problem that we deal with as, or maybe I deal with directly, because people come in my Twitch chat and they say like, oh, I read this on Twitter, I read this on Reddit, did you see this Facebook group? And then we have to like kind of clear up this conversation of like what's actually happening. So when I say Reddit, I'm just thinking of the people that are consistently yelling, like the people that were like the people that said a year ago, I don't want Game Freak touching Diamond and Pearl because they'll ruin it, and then they're like, well, Game Freak's not making it, and then those people were still upset.
Yeah, that's just...
Yeah, I mean, those people will never be happy.
If you go to the upset factory, you can't be bothered that the product that they're giving out is being upset. Like, Reddit is there to churn out people being angry. So if you're going to go to Reddit and say, everybody on Reddit's mad, what did you expect? I went to the shoe store not expecting to buy bread. Like,
yes,
we can just stop. It's the same, like, everybody on Twitter, quote unquote. Twitter is a small amount of people.
Yes.
Who are just screaming at about a bunch of things to get noticed. Like, these are not valid benchmarks upon which to judge everybody's approval or disapproval about the game.
Yeah, but you can't just ignore those altogether, because there are things on Reddit and
Twitter. You really can.
No. There are things on Reddit and Twitter that do bring things to life, like the whole fact that I didn't know the 4 times I watched this trailer that the one NPC standing in Flora Town was the NPC from Platinum.
I mean, you could ask me. I knew that.
Well, I didn't see you tweet it or post it on Reddit now, did I?
Well, because I don't... That doesn't add
you know how many retweets you could have got, Greg, if you posted that?
It does add it, because people are wondering, it's like, will they have the Platinum post game in these games? And it appears that they're going to do like they did with Oris and have the Emerald post game.
Yeah.
Okay. But they didn't have all of the Emerald post game, right? Like, all of Battle Factory wasn't in Oris. We can't say they're going to have the full Platinum post game.
Man, I came to the Battle Factory and I got a shoe. Greg, your whole world is screwed up.
But the thing is like, to think that they aren't going to include the improvements in Platinum is a wild take, since they aren't going to remake that game. They made the 2. They haven't, like, they didn't remake Crystal. They didn't remake Emerald. They barely remade Yellow. They don't tend to remake the third games. But they tend to, throughout all of these games, include the benefits and the quality of life things that appeared in that third game in that remake. They have done that every time. I don't think that's groundbreaking to point out that the person that gives you the flower for a thing that appears
it's the
in
Shaman
Platinum,
girl, right? She gives you Shaman.
Yeah, is in this game.
It's a Gracidia flower. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just not.
Well, we haven't actually talked about the games themselves.
I know. We'll get there.
So let's take a break.
Okay.
And then we'll come back. We'll start off talking about Legends. And then we'll talk about the Lego toy Diamond and Pearl.
Don't start. I hate that so much.
Oh, wow.
A Dynamax band. Did you see the things with the battling? Dynamax. The giant Pokeballs. And I said, yes, that is Dynamax. With the giant Mons. And then I say, that is Dynamax. Giant Mons. And then I say, Dynamax. 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 Called the Dynamax. A Dynamax band.
And we are back. So let's talk about Pokemon Legends Arceus. They said Arceus multiple times.
Oh, come on. They locked that in when they built the RKS system in
but in Detective Pikachu, they said Arceus, and it was a little confusing.
Yeah,
I had to correct people on Twitter. It's fine. It's Arceus. Just...
It's the same as the Pokédex 3D Pro. It's the same as Pokemon Battle Revolution, the little
Arceus.
The thing. You know, somebody on Twitter, Greg, said, you have to take it with a grain of salt. And my thought process was, if the CEO of the Pokemon company is saying Arceus, I don't know what kind of salt we buying, but I don't know who to believe at that point. Then I feel like
you can say whatever you want, but officially it is Arceus.
Yes.
The whole point of mythical names is so that when you say it, everyone, regardless of language, knows what you're talking about. But obviously accents and stuff come into play.
I'm fine with Arceus, but when people start telling me that Celebi is wrong, that's when I'm going to start fighting.
Or Cinderace? Come on.
Well, Cinderace is not a mythical. Celebi is.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, available early 2022. They showed like a 2-minute trailer, although I would probably say there was only like 60 seconds of gameplay footage. The Pokemon Legends Arceus game will honor Pokemon's core gameplay while infusing a new action RPG. You'll need to catch, survey, and research wild Pokemon in the long-gone era of Sinnoh to recreate the first Pokédex. So we kind of got what the premise of the game is. Make the Pokédex. Sounds like you're done.
Yep.
To catch Pokemon, you can observe them, learn their behavior, sneak up carefully, aim your Pokeball, let it fly. Right off their website. You can have your ally Pokemon battle wild Pokemon that you hope to catch. Just throw the Pokeball holding your ally Pokemon near a wild Pokemon, and you will seamlessly enter a battle and command your Pokemon by choosing the moves it knows. It looks like they copy and pasted the blue swish from Sun and Moon behind the HP bar. Do you guys remember that? In Sun and Moon battles, they had the swishes behind the bars.
Oh, yeah, vaguely.
Kind of.
It's been a long time since I played those games, thinking about it.
You'll be brought to the Sinnoh region, the setting for Diamond and Pearl, but this is long before those, before ideals of being a trainer or having a Pokemon League even existed, which kind of hints that there doesn't seem to be other trainers or other... No gyms? There's no trainers?
No gyms, definitely. I would imagine that there will be other trainers, but not sort of like I'm a Pokemon trainer title.
I'm also imagining there will be some sort of bad guy element to the game.
Yeah, sure.
Like,
I don't know. I don't.
I do think that in your pursuits, you will run into people who are doing things for a quote unquote unkind purpose, and you will have to stop them.
The truth is, it's hard to have story. It's hard to have
Yes.
narrative without conflict.
Right. There's going to be some sort of conflict to drive the game.
Pokemon Snap really does well without needing conflict.
Oh, trust me,
Does
the
it?
conflict is aiming that daggone camera.
The conflict is the professor not liking your
Jitterham's
photos.
here. Oh man, he's like, you're 3 pixels off. No good. 2 stars. Sorry.
So if you say what the goal of a Pokemon game would be, it would probably be to be the champion, to beat
Right.
8 gyms, to beat the Elite Four, to be the champion. And this, it is to complete the first ever Pokédex. So it doesn't seem like battling is a huge focus, but
wait. Also, let me reiterate what I've had to tell probably about 20 people so far.
how many were on Reddit?
0. Mostly text messages and Twitter DMs, and 1 Instagram. Hey, Instagram's becoming the messaging platform.
Yeah, it is. It definitely is.
We have seen very little of this game.
Mm-hmm.
Do not make your overall complete assumption of what this game is based on what you've seen so far. If we know anything about Pokemon game announcements, they give you a little nugget at the beginning, and we're going to have a year's worth of reveals and more information.
Yeah.
And hey, look, it's a pixelated Farfetch that's actually a Surfetch running around your computer screen.
Yes.
You do not know everything at this point. You cannot judge this game. And also, just to throw in with that as well, I've gotten complaints about the quality of the rendering of the graphics.
Yes,
and
I do want to talk about that.
Well, I was just like, we historically know that they have in the past done first previews of games that were not finished yet, and the graphics improve.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We
I mean, this game is a year away.
We don't know from what
or
point
more than a year
in
away.
development they built this trailer. Like, whatever. I'm not getting into it. The only thing I will point out is somebody did point out that the pattern design on your outfit is similar to the Team Galactic logo later.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Ooh.
Okay, so speaking of people making assumptions, I don't want to spend a lot of time on this, but 2 things. The first thing is when they do that panning shot from behind the trainer and then look at Mount Coronet, because we know that's Mount Coronet, somebody lined that up with the same opening trailer of Breath of the Wild, and it is 1-to-1 identical. Like, they knew what they were doing there. They wanted to capture that feeling of...
Do you want to know what else it matches up to?
Probably like the Elder Scrolls thing as well.
The opening shot of Sound of Music.
Nice. Never seen that movie, but I'll take
Breath
your
of
word
the
for
Wild, the musical, Sound of Music. It is a big sweeping shot that was developed and shown in that film to capture the grandeur of the countryside. It is not a mistake that they use it in multiple games to show off, look at how huge our world is going to be. Like, that doesn't mean anything. They're the same shot.
Wait a minute. Is it not the most Pokemon fan thing in the world that, like, 3-4 years ago, I don't know how many, whenever Breath of the Wild first came out, all the Pokemon fans were like
5 or 6.
It would be, but like, why can't we have Pokemon Breath of the Wild? I want Pokemon Breath of the Wild. We get Pokemon Breath of the Wild, and like, this is not what I want.
No, not like this.
I'm unhappy.
Okay, so
again, if you go to the Outrage Factory, expect to get outrage.
Yes. I do get frustrated that every game gets compared to Breath of the Wild. But also, I lived through the early 2000s where a lot of games got compared to Super Mario 64.
Yes.
Breath of the Wild is just the game that is on the to-do list. And before Breath of the Wild, I'm pretty sure it was Dark Souls. Everything was compared to Dark Souls. This plays like Dark Souls. This is as hard as Dark Souls. This looks like Dark Souls. You roll like Dark Souls. I get it. It is very exhausting, though, that any game coming out, whether it's Nintendo or not, gets compared to Breath of the Wild. The second point I want to make is the open world. You heard me read the press release. We're on the official website. There's also a Nintendo press release about these games, but I read the official Pokemon press release. Nowhere did they ever say the words open world. With that being said, does the game look open world? Yes, I'm not going to debate that. It does look open world, but they chose not to use those two words yet. Mm-hmm. And the only reason I bring that up is because time and time again, people's expectations rise because they make these assumptions, and then a game comes out and they don't meet the assumptions that the game never said, but they thought. A funny story is like when the Wii first came out. This was the time where like PS2, PS3, Xbox 360, Xbox, whatever, they all had shooting games with online. And I was waiting in line to try the Wii early, and one of the Wii launch games was a game called Red Steel, which was a samurai game. It was a shooter. You could shoot, and then you could swing your Wiimote, and it would be a sword. And there was this huge group of people in front of me, and we were waiting to try Red Steel for the very first time. Wii wasn't out yet, and they were all talking about how they couldn't wait to play this game online and shoot each other with their Wiimotes and to slice each other with their Wiimotes. And because their assumption was, well, every other PS2 and Xbox game and Xbox, like all these other shooters have online, but nowhere did Ubisoft, makers of Red Steel, advertise that this game had online. And all these, like the entire 20, 30 minutes, they were just talking about how great the online was going to be for Red Steel when it was never even talked about. So again, I do think the game will probably be open world, but the Nintendo's press release, the Pokemon.com, the Japanese Pokemon website, the Pokemon press release, none of them say the words open world. And it was funny because one of our viewers, one of our listeners in Slack went to Joe Cerebi. Joe, hello if you're listening. I do love Joe, by the way. Joe, the webmaster of Cerebi, went to his Twitch stream the other night and said, hey, do you think that Arceus is an open world game? And he said, yes, of course. They even said that. And then his girlfriend sitting next to him, she said, well, they never said it during the trailer, which is true. They never used the words open world. And so you watch Joe lean forward, clickety clacky on the keyboard. He's like, I'm checking the press release. And he goes, oh, they didn't say open world. And then he goes, well, they said Grand Vistas. Yeah, sure, they said Grand Vistas, but like
that doesn't mean anything.
They didn't say the art style is absolutely amazing. Yeah, from my point of view.
And it was funny because right before he got to that point, he was having the same argument we just had, which was, hey, Pokemon fans like to make assumptions. Don't make assumptions because you'll build up. But again, it's just, does this game look open world? Yeah, sure. But there are different scales of open world, right? Like the open world wild area in Sword and Shield is different than Breath of Wild, which is different than Final Fantasy 15, which is different than Ocarina of Time.
That is exactly the way that I was going to put it. Was if you consider the wild area, if you consider the Crown, I would say more like Crown Tundra and Isle of Armor. If you consider those to be open world, then that's what you're going to get with this. That this is an extension of that type of Pokemon play.
And I did not play Gears of War, the new Gears of War, but that is an open world game. But they hide the open world. They hide the fact that it's not really open world by driving a car from area to area. So you have these huge areas, and if you want to get to another area, you're driving a car, but it's actually hiding the fact that you can't do anything in between that from point A to point B.
Well, and like Monster Hunter World, right? You've got very large regions that you can move around in, but if you want to go from like the desert kind of region to the jungle kind of region, you can't just There's not a connector between those two.
You have like 8 open world maps.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I just want to talk about that. Do I think the game is open world myself? Yes. What level of open world? Don't know. Has Game Freak done open world? Yes. I think the Isle of Armor and Crown Tundra is a great example of them being able to do it and having Pokemon spawn and being able to explore with little to no load times, although it does get a little chonky from time to time. So I just wanted to bring that up. The other thing is, some people were asking, why do you not pick the Sinnoh starters in a Sinnoh game? Well, because you're the one discovering the Sinnoh
Right.
starters. So that one's kind of like...
Oh, I have a sense, and once again, right, don't take this as fact, take this as Will Anderson's sense and interpretation, is that at this time in history that we will be playing this game, it's like, right, Sinnoh's an island.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Obviously,
no, Sinnoh's like the north part of Japan.
yeah, which is an island. My take is that, like, you are among the first humans to come and settle on this island. That's why you're going out to discover all the Pokemon, and that's why there's not an established, like, hey, I'm the Sinnoh Pokemon researcher. It's like, there is one village of humans. Maybe there's a few, like, outcroppings of people, like, in tents or whatever, but there's, like, one village of humans in Sinnoh. And you are there. That's where you start. That's why it's your base. And then you will explore the Sinnoh region, but you're not going to... It's not going to be a bunch of towns to go from here to there. So that's why, another reason, why are there no Sinnoh starters? Because we've just settled Sinnoh.
Right. Maybe. I am just way into the Pokeball design. I love this thing so much.
Are you guys actually excited for this game?
I am.
Yes.
So I love anything that expands the lore. And Sinnoh being one of the most history-rich, lore-rich of the game series, to be able to go back in time to really explore the history and the development of that region is incredibly exciting to me. I think everything that I've seen so far has me excited. Like, I like the way the world looks. I like how they've taken what modern Sinnoh was and then brought it down to historical past. So, like, the costuming is really good. The Pokeball is incredible. The vistas look great. Like, everything about the game so far has me very excited to play the game. Like, even if the story is very basic, it's just a basic exploration of what happened in the past, I am very into that basic exploration of what happened in the past, and I hope we get that for more regions. I think it really helps develop the world of Pokemon to not always be in the present day, but to also look at the past that they've never really explored before, and that alone is very exciting.
Which they talk about, yes,
they talk about, but we don't ever get to
explore.
experience it.
Well, Black and White already did this with Pokemon Typing Adventure.
Nobody played Pokemon Typing Adventure, okay?
Well, if they wanted the deep lore of Unova, they could have typed away and...
It was only available in Japanese.
No, it was in the UK too. You had to import it.
There you go. One of our listeners is a woodworker and metalworker and has already started planning on making reproductions of the wooden
Yeah,
Pokeballs.
the wooden steam. I just love that thing so much. It's mostly made out of wood and steam puffs from the top when it's caught. It's such a great
Can I address
thing.
another complaint that I've received?
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
So
I like how you're... I like how you have no
get these things.
complaints,
Nobody
but you're
DMs me
bringing
complaints.
in other complaints.
because I'm thrilled, and yet people love to tell me what they don't like. So I did get a complaint of, oh, hey, I hate the fact I just throw Pokeballs at Pokemon and I don't have to battle them to weaken them, and
So most Pokemon games.
they're ruined. They've ruined it for me, and so I have 2 points to address this particular complaint. Number one, nobody said that.
Yeah, that is not
Right?
hinted at all.
Number two, if you have paid attention to Pokemon in the past few years, in Pokemon Go, you do not battle Pokemon before you catch them. You throw balls at them. In Pokemon Let's Go, you do not battle the Pokemon, usually, of the time. You just throw balls at them. This is a mechanic that has existed now in Pokemon games for years.
Okay,
So-
but also you can apply that to Sword and Shield, where most people just throw a quick ball and move on with life.
Well, and a lot of
because in
games
Sword and
had
Shield,
100%
they
catch
monkeyed
on the first
around with
race.
the whole, like, if your Pokemon
Yeah,
is
that's
not
true.
of a higher level, then it's harder to catch the other Pokemon.
Yeah.
That is true.
They play with it some. But, I mean, the first route always catch has been for a while, too. Like, you can, in a lot of games, catch everything that appears in the first route 100% of the time. No battling, just chuck a ball.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not that much of a stretch. Also, we don't know what the battle system is like if you are able to, if you do have to do a weakening attack and then catch it on the harder ones. Like, we have no clue
and that was
as
also
to
my
what that
response,
happens.
right? It was like, maybe the small ones you can just throw a Pokeball and it will catch, but maybe the larger ones you do have to have a partner Pokemon to battle it and bring it down and then catch it.
We have
don't-
one
we don't
screenshot
have
of
that.
the battle, which is a Gallade versus a Garchomp.
And it does have False Swipe in there, which is like the prime catching.
Yeah,
I thought there was a battle scene with a Staraptor and
That was in the trailer,
but there was
too.
no attacks on that screen.
Yeah.
Oh, you couldn't see what the choice
Yeah,
of attacks.
so
was.
in
this
the
one-
Gallade, the Gallade is level 70.
Yep.
It has 213 HP. It knows Slash 20 out of 20. False Swipe 40 out of 40. Close Combat 5 out of 5. Aerial Ace 20 out of 20. And they're against a wild Garchomp. And then there's another screenshot with like two Jinxes, or Shinxes, not Jinxes.
Two Shinxes.
Yeah,
I
and
will say,
I like how he catches one of them and the other one is just completely oblivious.
Like, okay.
My buddy just disappeared, but I'm not gonna
All right,
so
I guess this is my life now. My best friend is gone.
I have another two things. I feel like if we rename this podcast, it'll be Steve has two things. Two things.
Two things, Steve.
One, I don't care about graphics in a video game as long as the game is good. I want to really stress that. Like, if the game looks bad but still plays super well, I don't really care. I know we can point to the trees in Sword and Shield that still comes up from
which
time to time.
I think are fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, graphics can ruin a game for me.
Can they?
They
Okay.
can.
But I would say that the art style in the Pokemon Legends Arceus, I love the art style. I love this kind of like we're doing almost like a painted, brush painted interpretation of the world. I think that is beautiful and really goes along with the theme of this is a historical, not a modern game.
I would say for most people, as long as the game is good, graphics don't matter. I mean, if you look at some of the top games out there, Minecraft, it's literally blocks. Roblox is whatever Roblox is trying to do. Like,
I mean, graphics is so graphics isn't like always the make or break. But if it's got really, really bad graphics and there's it's okay to play, then I will not like the graphics are often what get me through the door. Like, this looks super cute. Like, there are a million board games that I bought because I just love the art and the gameplay is terrible. There are a lot of games that I bought because I thought the art was really great and
then you're like, oh, this game is bad.
But there's a lot of games where people had to convince me to buy and play the game because the art turned me off so much. Like, I just have no interest in playing the game because I have to watch myself play it. I have to be confronted with this art over and over and over again. So if I really don't like the art, knowing that as a visual medium, this is what I have to look at, that can turn me off from buying a game.
Sure.
And I can say, like, my experience of that, now that, like, thinking about it has brought this to mind, right? I love Monster Hunter games, the Nintendo Monster Hunter games. They're bright, they're colorful, they're the weapons and everything. It's fanciful, and there's like a bit of humor in there, and they're just like that's a huge draw for me. And then there was Monster Hunter World, which was drab, and like everything was just so like boring. And it's like, yeah, you could tell that this weapon was made out of this particular monster's parts, but it's just like not. And I lost interest in Monster Hunter World because it didn't have that like characteristic, bright, colorful, playful nature that other Monster Hunter games have had. So I can see like how the art style does influence my pleasure in playing the game in those ways.
So with the foundation laid that I don't care. Like, I think this game looks bad graphically. That's what I want to say.
Right now.
Right now, I think it looks
now.
bad. But if the game was to ship and still look like it did today, I would still buy it and play it with the hope that the gameplay is good, right? So that's all I want to say. Like,
Right.
I do, when they showed the trailer and they showed the trainer running through the very empty town with 5 identical buildings, the only thing different was the roof. And then, like, this town is deserted. There are 5 buildings. They're all the same. It doesn't look great, even though there's nothing going on.
Because the game starts with you waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning before anybody else has woken up, and that you can't interpret the entire story.
Then they show them in the field, and you see like a Chingling, and it's like 1 pixel up, 2 pixels over, 2 pixels. It's very stuttery. The trees look just as bad as they did in Sword and Shield, which is now a 2-year-old game.
This is great.
It visually, it was not impressive to me, and I couldn't help think about that. And now I kind of feel like those people who saw Sword and Shield for the first time, and they were like, "Oh, why doesn't this look as good as other Nintendo games?" But that being said, like, I get it. The game is a year out; they have plenty of time to improve.
Yeah,
but it was hard for me to be excited about a game where they showed 90 seconds of, in my opinion, very mediocre footage. I think the idea that they're trying to convey got to me. They're trying to do this vast world where you can just explore, you can roll, seamless battles. Like, that got through to me, but it was just hard for me to be excited when I don't think that visually this looked really, like, I think the very first trailer for Sword and Shield was a better first impression of a Game Freak game. Like, I think that first trailer of Sword and Shield, seeing Sir Chester with the snowfall, seeing that Halloween field with the Yampers and the yellow grass, seeing Score Bunny on Route 1, I thought that actually looked great, and it was really exciting. And this was before the National Dex, so everyone was excited for that opening Sword and Shield. But when I looked at this game, I was like, wow, that Chingling is barely moving. Oh, that Staraptor is like stuttering in the background. Oh, that grass doesn't...
overinterpret, man. You just like... Wow.
But you can't. But
all I
maybe
care
I'm
about is that there is a Badu shown.
But there's only like 60 seconds of footage. Like, there's not a lot to really look at. It
still got me super excited. I was like, when they, like, for me, honestly, when they were doing like the hand painting of the Piplup on the beach with the Spheos, I was like, I'm in.
Yeah, that is cool, but that's not the game. Like, I think...
I know that's not the game. It still sold me on the game.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
It's like, boy, they've got the right concept.
Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah, like the splatters and the brush strokes and everything. I get it.
I would honestly say, like, for anybody who really needs a reference on this, it was the Sun and Moon games. I'm sure you can find a record somewhere where people have done side by side of, like, here is this scene from the first trailer of this game. Here is the scene from the last trailer of the game. And you can see the improvements that they made.
I have no doubt that this game is going to look significantly better when it ships.
Yep.
I'm just saying, as a first impression for me, I saw people get really excited. You know, you hear statements like, this is going to be the best Pokemon game ever, and oh my gosh, they're finally doing it. And some people screaming MMO, even though it's not.
Not yet. Not with that attitude.
But I'm just more optimistically cautious, because if the best game at this point that we have gotten from Game Freak is Sword and Shield, which I think so. I think from, they already proved the open world part of Sword and Shield. They have done some really good animations in Sword and Shield, like Hyper Beam, Pyro Ball. The quality of life in Sword and Shield is pretty much unmatched of any other Pokemon game of what you can do. But it's not like Game Freak overnight turned into Rockstar or turned into Bungie or turned into like these AAA studios. It's still Game Freak. And we know what Game Freak has. We if there's anything we know for Game Freak, we have seen their whole catalog of video games, from Harmonite to Tembo to Little Town Hero. We've seen
Don't forget Pocket Card Jockey.
Their best game by far. We have seen every single game they have made. So to go from people saying Sword and Shield was bad or Sword and Shield was not as good as Diamond and Pearl to this is going to be the best Pokemon game, it's very hard for me to be like, yeah, I hope so. I hope so. I hope that this is the best Pokemon game they ever do. But from what they showed me and the rest of the world, I'm just cautious about it. Like, I hope it's great.
Yes,
But-
that's fine.
Yeah,
Be
I mean-
cautiously optimistic. That's acceptable.
One of the keys of happiness is managing your expectations.
Right, yeah,
Like-
yeah. I will also say, as I know what video games I like. I'm 32 years old. I've played a lot of video games. I know which ones I like. I know which ones I don't like. Action RPG, the first thing that comes to mind is Bayonetta, Nier Automata. Why am I blanking? A Devil May Cry. These are action RPGs that I've played before, and I simply didn't like them. I don't think they're bad games. They're just not the type of games I like. I like Pokemon things, so if this is a good version of that, it will get me through. I probably would say Final Fantasy 15 is an action RPG. I hated the combat in that game, but because I love the world of Final Fantasy, and because I really did enjoy the Final Fantasy, I love the 4 boy band going through in their leather outfits in the desert to, save the kingdom. It really, for whatever reason, got to me. I liked it. I was very satisfied. It pushed me through. I think the Pokemon itself will push me through, but usually for me, not a huge fan of action RPGs in general.
Yeah, I mean, that's the same. Like, I don't like first-person shooters, but I love the BioShock series. Like, because the story in the world of BioShock was so great that I didn't hate the fact that it was a first-person shooter. So, like, we still don't really know what action RPG means in this context. Like, we don't... The fact that they bring up the moves, but there's not like a counter or a timing thing. There's a lot of questions about what they mean by action RPG. And there's so little information to make a lot of judgments off of it. Is very premature. All we know is they're going back in time. There's a whole collection aspect, and that has me hooked. That is a thing that I like.
I also hope that... What was the other thing I saw? Like, this is Game Freak setting the foundation for future Pokemon games. Didn't they not? Like, they've already proven the wild area.
Yeah.
Like, they've already done the open world. If anything, this is like them expanding on the open world part of the wild area. So
what I'm saying is this is more of like them putting their stake in the ground and saying, expect wild area is Pokemon game, not tall grass.
Yeah, and I think that's like if Gen 9 was all wild area, I'd be cool with that. Like, I genuinely like seeing the Pokemon walk around. I like being able to avoid them. I think it does make the world feel lively. That's why I do like most of my time in Sword and Shield right now is in the Isle of Armor. I know some people like Crown Tundra better, but I really do like the Isle of Armor, and I like exploring it, and it's my favorite area to wander around still, and seeing those different biomes. I hope that when I look at this trailer and it's like, you only see 2 Pokemon and there's vast canyons behind you, and it's like, oh gosh, I hope there's something more out there. I hope that's there. Also, just because a game is open world doesn't mean it's good. I don't also understand this.
Yeah.
Like, I have played plenty of open world games that the open world part was not a necessity. Like No More Heroes, No More Heroes 2, those were open world games, and I guess you could walk around but there was nothing to do in it.
Because it gives me the freedom to be me. I don't have the man telling me where I gotta be and when.
Again,
here's the bigger question. Do you think you get to customize your trainer in the Legend game?
I hope so. Yes.
No, I don't.
Yeah,
think so.
why not?
Because
there's no rules. You're the first person.
You're gonna wear traditional garb.
Okay, you're gonna find an Ursaring You're gonna carve it up with your Garchomp, and then you're gonna have like a like Monster Hunter. You get to wear the Ursa ring.
Pokemon Monster Hunter crossover. I'm in.
Final Fantasy 15. I said earlier, one of my favorite games ever. Completely open world. That was probably the worst part of Final Fantasy 15. There was nothing to do. You could walk from the garage to the beach, and it would probably actually take you 2 hours to walk that.
but there was real life.
Nothing to do in between. That's why you just took the car, and the car would take 10 minutes instead of 2 hours. I'm not even exaggerating. The car would legit take 10 minutes to drive from point A to point B, and you would go make a sandwich and come back, and you're like, yeah, I'm just here with my boy band, sweating in leather in this car, waiting. Like, open world doesn't automatically mean... No, there's no slimes in Final Fantasy.
Slimes
That's
in Final
Dragon
Fantasy.
Quest.
Oh. I mean, I'm playing Genshin Impact, and there's plenty of slimes in that game.
I hope this game is good, though. I will never fault a video game company for trying something new. They're trying something new here. I also don't expect that this is like... I saw people being like, talking about the sequels to this. Like, oh, this is just the foundation, but I can't wait for the Legends Groudon, or like... Whoa, this game is a year away. It's not even out yet. Why are we talking about sequels to this game?
I mean, we're talking about it because, much like me, I would be very excited to explore the histories of all of the regions.
Yeah, sure.
That's a very exciting thing. Like, if this is a really good game and we're exploring the history of Sinnoh, I really then want to explore all of the other regions. And that is an exciting idea.
Well, I mean, all of them except Hoenn, because nobody wants to go back to Hoenn.
Well, I hear that people really like Kanto and want more Kanto.
Nobody wants more Kanto. No one. We've been there 5 million times.
Okay.
We just did a whole tour.
We did do a whole tour. You know what's coming sooner than later, though, is Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl.
Yes. I'm so excited.
I believe the Pokemon Company partnered with I
Love Computer Art.
I was gonna say Duplo.
Oh no.
Okay, so the adventure of Pokemon Diamond, Brilliant Diamond Shining Pearl will take place in the Sinnoh region, rich with the nature of Mount Coronet, towering at the heart. You will visit many different locations to become the champion of the Pokemon League. The original story has faithfully been reproduced. Sense of scale of the original towns have been carefully preserved. You can relive familiar scenes for those setting out for Sinnoh for the first time. Plenty of new encounters and surprises await. The remakes include easy-to-understand, player-friendly conveniences of a modern Pokemon series, plus up-to-close personal Pokemon battle scenes. A couple things that they've shown. They only really showed like 2 routes, I think. They showed the original route where you get your starter Pokemon, and then I think they showed the route where Shinx and Bidoof spawn. They showed that first town that you go to. They showed the bottom part of Snow Point, where I think the boat is.
Mm-hmm.
They showed the factory.
And they showed what looks like the underground.
Oh,
they showed the blown up lake with the dead Magikarps.
Yeah, they did show that. Yeah,
the best part of the game, according to some people.
That is the best part of the game. That is the surprises they were talking about. So we have to talk about the art style first. That is the biggest point of contention, whether people like it or hate it, and
I just love the whole. It's like, I want Gen 4 remakes. I want Gen 4 remakes. These are not the remakes that I wanted.
Not like this. I will start as a person who is incredibly excited about the art style. I love the fact that they kept the fact that you're chibi in the overworld and full size in the battle, just like in the original games.
100%.
That's
100%. Stamp. Endorsed. Love
they
it.
were like that in the original games. You shrunk down and you walked around the world in chibi form. I think the chibi form here is incredibly cute. I think it's an incredibly cute art style. I like the fact that they kept it as a faithful nod to the original games.
I 100%. I was like, I can have my nostalgia in an updated and fun to look at manner, right? It's like, this is like everything I want from a remake. I want it to have that same cute feel, the same, honestly, even the same grid movement that you had in the original games.
I don't think there's grid because you can see Dawn go sideways in the snow part.
I mean, it looks like...
It looks
I mean, the whole layout looks like everything is squares, right? It's just like...
I am not... The words faithful remake is the thing that bothers me. Because,
what part of it bothers you?
Faithful would be, hey, do you remember 17 HMs you needed to get through Mount Coronet?
Yeah.
Well, we're keeping it faithful.
So yeah, the reason I think that they're saying that is because I think that they really want to set the foundation for, you are going to be able to capture, use, have access to Pokemon that were available in Diamond and Pearl.
Yeah.
And no Alolan Pokemon, no Kalos Pokemon, no Unova Pokemon. This is a Diamond and Pearl remake, kids, and you're going to get what was available in Diamond and Pearl.
Look, I respect that decision. When if they start making a remake of any Pokemon game or any game in general, and they say, look, this is the direction we're going from day one, I respect it. The problem I had with Auras is it wasn't a complete faithful remake. And it wasn't a complete overhauled remake like Final Fantasy VII Remake is.
I think we're mistaking faithful with exact. Faithful is remaining true to the original. Faithful is remaining in the spirit of the original. There's nothing about faithful that says it's exact.
Yeah,
they never say it's exact. And they even say there are life improvements in the press release.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing about the word faithful that is saying this is a one-for-one complete remake. It is keeping in the spirit of and true to how the original was. That doesn't mean they aren't making changes. That doesn't mean that we will automatically have HMs. That doesn't mean that the end game won't be completely different or won't be from Platinum. It means that they aren't like, the plot line is going to be the same. They aren't just saying, now here's Sword and Shield's DLC Sinnoh. Like, they aren't completely changing the game. They are remaining faithful to the things that were originally part of Diamond and Pearl. That does not exclude quality of life changes, additional Pokemon, other things being added to the game.
Yeah, they're just
and part of what they're showing is they're staying very faithful to the art style of the original game. Like, that's what, like, it isn't exact. Like, it is a new rendering of the chibi models, and it is a new rendering of the world.
Yeah.
But it still has the look and feel of those original games. I think that's what they mean by faithful.
Sure. My worries are, and they're petty, but like, I like customizing characters. If you're saying it's faithful,
you're not getting it.
Are we stuck with Dawn?
You're not
and
getting it. You're
what's his other name? Not
Scooter.
Ethan?
No, Ethan's Johto. Dawn and the other guy.
Dave. Dawn and Dave.
Dawn and Dave, my two favorite Pokemon protagonists. Like, it is, I know it's so important to people when they play games to be themselves, and in Pokemon, that is a game where you are yourself. You are, for better or worse, picking your favorite Pokemon, going through with your journey, having your experiences, and to X and Y, that was a huge factor of being like, I can be black for the first time. I can be Latino for the first time. I can wear a hat or not wear a hat, or put on a pink jacket instead of a green jacket. That adds a ton of immersion for people going through a game. And it was a turnoff for Auras for me to be like, I gotta be Brendan. Brendan's lame. I'm not lame. I'm cool.
Debatable.
So, like, you can remake a game like Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. What was that dude's name? Trace? But I was
Elaine.
Chase, Trace, Elaine. But I was still able to customize myself, so I didn't have to feel like Chase or Trace. I can't even remember which one's the rival or not, right? If I wanted to wear a Team Rocket uniform and put a safari hat on my Eevee, I could do that, and that felt like me. Because my Eevee's always out there safaring. So, like, no character customization's a big bummer, and I feel like that's a step backwards. Again, they already went a step backwards in Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire was like, hey, we're going to stick you with HMs again. And Rock Smash is not an HM, but you needed Rock Smash to go from Gym 3 to Gym 4 to get to Flannery, and you needed it every time. Like, that's a step back. No Pokemon in the overworld. Could happen. Probably not. Remember when they first showed Sword and Shield, they did not show Wandering Pokemon. It wasn't until the second trailer 4 months later where they showed Wandering Pokemon. And we complained about that on the show. We were like, how can they go from Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, literally the best feature of Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, and how can they take that away?
And I called it right. You're all like, no, they won't have a mixture. And I said, yes, they will. And you're like, no, they won't. And I was right.
You were right.
Vindication.
Could they have Wandering Pokemon in here? Yeah, sure. They could do anything. It's their video game. But going back on that feels like, ugh, I don't want that either. Like, I do want to walk around the Zubats because we know Mount Cornet is full of Zubats. I want to not walk into them. So that I'm worried in that sense. Is that going? Are these things going to prevent me from buying the game? No, because like I've played through Sinnoh multiple times. I think Platinum is the better game. Like if I had a choice, I'm going to Platinum. But I would miss those things a lot. And I think those things, being able to customize your character and seeing Pokemon in the overworld, for me, adds so much immersion to a series I love.
Well, are we ready for true confession time?
Yes.
I only played Pokemon Diamond to complete my living dex. I didn't really pay attention to the story. I kind of rushed it. So this will be my first visit.
I'm dead.
With actually caring.
Diamond was the first time I ever completed a Pokédex. Like, I have very fond memories of Diamond, so I'm going to buy Brilliant Diamond.
Yeah, I needed to move my Pokemon off of my Pokemon Emerald cartridge up. Mm-hmm. So that's why I played Pokemon Diamond.
I mean, looking at how they do a lot of remakes, I don't think we're getting customization. I don't think we're getting overworld. We don't know for sure.
True.
They like to hide those things. Again, manage your expectations. They really haven't done it a lot in the past. It's highly doubtful they're going to do it here.
And also keep in mind, this is not the key focus of new next Pokemon. Pokemon Legends Arceus is the key focus of new next Pokemon. This is, you guys wanted remakes. We paid this company to make remakes.
Be careful what you wish for.
We didn't spend gold. We spend silver. So you get silver.
So at least in auras, you could be unique in your secret bases.
Yes.
In this game,
you can be unique in your underground secret bases.
Yeah, but in the like capture the flag, the tag, they showed a scene of like 16 people in the what was that? That's the Wi-Fi room, Union room. I think they're called.
Wi-Fi room.
Like that would be a great place to express yourself. Hey, I'm the dude wearing the green hat.
And you could do that in the old games. You picked what your avatar was when you went into that room.
Yeah, you just picked an avatar. You didn't customize yourself.
Right, but that doesn't mean that you can't. Like,
ooh,
that's
are they going to bring back
be a part of this?
The designated text that you can choose? Like, remember they had you could only pick words?
Yeah.
Like, I like happy and celebration.
So there are some big questions here. The biggest question being like, and this kind of goes back to why I think Will is wrong about them not doing a Gen 9 in the statement of like Gen 8 is they have to keep pushing forward this competitive scene. So how are they going to say, hey, all competitive for the 2022 World Tournament is going to be in the Diamond and Pearl remakes not made by Game Freak? Or is it going to be in Sword and Shield? Like, we don't know that.
I don't know
they
what
keep
they're going to do.
canceling the World Championship, so
Maybe
maybe
that's
that's
why.
the real hot take on what's happening with competitive.
They're like, we're just done with competitive
We're just
altogether.
done.
Because it's not going to be Legends of Arceus. If you go to the Japanese website, I
Right.
think we said this earlier, Legends of Arceus has no online multiplayer at all.
Mhm.
Diamond and Pearl on the Japanese website says 2 to 4 players. So is Diamond and Pearl going to be the competitive game? Which maybe, maybe it is.
So,
Or is it going to
Game
continue?
Freak can design the battle system and
What was
say,
it?
Yeah.
you use this.
Yeah, what was it for Oris and...
Auras was the competitive game during the time. It did go from X and Y to Auras to Sun and Moon to Ultra
because
Sun and
they
Moon.
added new megas.
The
right?
only time they
So-
skipped was Let's Go. But they said when Let's Go came out, they literally said, "Hey, Let's Go is not a competitive game." Like, they put that flag down very early on with Let's Go. So I don't know how they're going to do competitive with this game coming out this fall. If they do stick it to Sword and Shield, is Sword and Shield going to continue to get wild area updates and contests and Mewtwo's appearing in raids throughout the time? Are they going to support both games? They could. They did with Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, and Let's Go. Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon continued to get new tournaments while Let's Go existed. But then that's a long time, right? Because we got 2 DLCs last year. We have nothing planned for this year for Sword and Shield. This game comes out in fall. Are we just going to live Sword and Shield battle mechanics until Generation 9? Like, I don't know.
Hey, I don't know.
If Diamond and Pearl are going to be the main competitive games going forward, are there Gen 8 Pokemon post-game? Like, Faithful Remix, okay, cool. Get to the end. Can I import some Gen 8 Pokemon? Can I import Cramorant? Can I import Stonejourner? Can I... the one thing I feel like I know for sure, it's not been confirmed, but if a company making this video game also made Pokemon Home, I'm pretty sure those two things are going to work together.
No, that is a step too far.
Why dare you make that assumption?
Would they do that? That is so wrong.
I don't think Legends of Arceus will have all 898 Pokemon. I don't think Gen 4 Remakes will have all 898 Pokemon. I think Game Freak and the Pokemon Company planted that flag, and I think they're standing by it. No Pokemon game going forward will have all 898 Pokemon. It would boggle my mind if this game doesn't let me import a Scorbunny or a Cramorant or a Alcremie. It would actually boggle. I get that you probably have to beat the game, beat Cynthia, then you can do it just like Gen 5. But it would feel very weird to not be able to take those freshly new Gen 8 Pokemon and explore a different region with them.
What if they come out with something that's like Pokemon? They've used every good word out there. Like Pokemon Battle Competition. I don't know. And it's like literally, it's like links to Pokemon Home. You can move
like a Battle
team.
Revolution?
Yeah.
That's only about battling. And it's like you can move your Pokemon in from Pokemon Home. You have to breed them, develop them,
cool.
grow them someplace else. And it's not tied to an actual adventure.
That would be cool.
I mean, I could see them doing that.
Because that really frees them up quite a bit.
The competition part and the remakes is the part. I don't know. I don't know how you solve for X in that. Like, that is a big question mark of what.
Oh, very easily.
What did these games
They say
mean
they're
to
no
this?
longer doing the VGC. They're only doing competitive TCG and Pokken Tournament.
Or only
and-
supporting
I could easily
Pokken
see
Tournament.
them.
Yeah.
I could easily see them that just competition stays in Sword and Shield. Period.
Mm-hmm.
And that is until their next game that they're going to release with competition focus.
Another thing, if this is Faithful Remakes, does that mean we're not getting Sinnoh forms? Like, when I think of Pokemon games going forward, I loved Alolan forms, I loved Galarian forms. I would like to see a
do you mean like
Sinnoh.
new Pokemon?
Yeah, I would like to see like a Sinnoh.
We got that. We got Mammoth
Pikachu.
One. We got Roserade. We got all of these extended evolutions.
Yeah,
They were
it's not,
in there.
you know, it's not the same.
It is the same.
It is.
I want to see, like a Sinnonian Inkay. Sinnonian, Yipper. Come on, those are fun. Why would you want to take those away?
Because I don't think they're going to I don't think Game Freak is going to turn over design of new forms and new Pokemon to a third party.
They don't have to. Creatures helps with Pokemon design. They worked with
but I don't
Namco Bandai to make Shadow Mewtwo.
I don't think they're going to necessarily do that.
We know that the anime team has made their own Pokemon, like Cosmog, which they forced into Sun and Moon. They can have a team of people help make 10, 15 Sinnonian Pokemon to make that feel...
Sinnonian is such a bad word.
It's a bad word. It's a bad word. I don't know what else is... Give me a better word. Somebody give me a better word.
Sinnoh.
That is better.
But that is something I look forward to in future Pokemon games. It's something I shouldn't expect, though, just because they did it for Sun and Moon and just because they did it for Sword and Shield doesn't mean every game going forward. There was a rumor, or not a rumor, but Poke Shopper, which is they have all the Pokemon merchandise from Japan and everything. They did say that there are 6 new toys coming for Shining Pearl, Brilliant Diamond, and 2 of those toys are Mega Lucario and Mega Charizard. So people jump to the assumptions because these are branded as Diamond and Pearl remake toys that Mega Charizard and Mega Lucario will possibly be in this game.
Just to prove me wrong. Fine.
That's why they did it.
I don't know why anyone would be shocked about that. It's not like when Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon ended and Sword and Shield started, they forgot about Megas. They're adding new Megas monthly in Pokemon Go. Megas exist in the current episodes of the anime. Megas exist in Pokemon Masters. I wouldn't be surprised if eventually Cafe adds Pokemon Megas as well. But why would that surprise anyone to be like Megas would come back? And everything comes back in Pokemon games. They take it away and then they give us it back eventually.
Because Dynamax was such a better interpretation of Megas
I think
and
Dynamax
Z
is
moves
better
and
than
everything.
Megas battle. I've said this before. I think the place that Megas actually shine in is the anime. I think that is the best place for Megas. But I think for actual competitive battle, Dynamax is better. But yeah, at the end of the game, they could do a Sun and Moon. They could say, at the end of the game, here's a Mega Bracelet, here's some Mega Stones. Have fun. They could say at the end of the game, here's one stadium where you can Dynamax battle. Have fun. They can do whatever they want. If those things are in there, cool. If they're not, bummer. But also, they're getting $60 out of us either way. This remake, I feel has only opened up more questions than prior to it being announced because of what they showed. But it's the Pokemon Company. They're really good at holding out information and then surprising us later. I didn't say this earlier. I don't love the art style. I like Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee's art style better. But I get
just like that it's back to
I get what they were going
used
for.
to do.
Yeah.
Which but what I am happy is that they didn't do the Sword and Shield looking scenario for Diamond and Pearl. Right? And having that art style because I honestly feel that this is almost an admission because, one of my big complaints about even the Sun and Moons and Sword and Shield is that the routes are too short. And that...
Well, they're pretty short in Sinnoh, too.
Well, no, but not as short. It's just they're more adventuresome. And that... The reason is it's a trade-off in being able to include that amount of graphics in it, and that this allows them to maintain the same route styles and everything, and the whole confusion of Mount Coronet and getting through that.
I think that it's so smart from them from a business perspective to have these graphics so dynamically different. Like, no one is confusing Diamond and Pearl remakes with Arceus. They're just so vastly different.
Right.
And I remember times when I was playing Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon on my Twitch stream, people would be like, is this X and Y? Is this Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire? And those are like more casual fans that are asking those questions. Obviously, like somebody who's deep into Pokemon 2,000 hours, they're going to be like, this is definitely Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon because of the health bar. But if there's one thing the Pokemon Company has been very good at is attracting new fans to this series. They've been excellent at that. This is why Sword and Shield sold 20 million copies versus X and Y only selling 16 and Sun and Moon only selling 15. They're so good at getting new people. So like if somebody who is 12 or 15 or 20 or 22, if they saw Sword and Shield or they saw X and Y and they were like, ugh, those games don't look like they're for me, they might look at this and go, this looks great. Oh, this is Pokemon? Oh, I'm going to try this one. And a Pokemon fan who goes, ugh, I hate the graphics, but they're still going to buy it because it's Pokemon. It's like a win-win for them.
I mean, it also helps make the game feel very distinct, right? Like, it helps set it apart. It helps make it visually unique. You know you're looking at screenshots from Diamond and Pearl versus screenshots from Sword and Shield versus screenshots from Let's Go. Like, they deliberately changed the art style so that the game is easily identifiable.
Yes, and they've done this in the anime. Like, I know the second a Gen 5 anime is on because they got those thick black Beyblade lines. And I know when Alola is on because it has those thinner, more fun, more zany lines. And then I know when Diamond and Pearl anime is on because nothing is lined up, all the colors are bad, and May is halfway through the floor because it's poorly animated. Like, it's very distinct.
Did we cover that it's Lucas and Dawn?
No, we never. We said Dave and Dawn.
It's Lucas and Dawn.
I'm excited for both games, but I think I'm more excited for
both games.
Diamond and Pearl just because it's coming out sooner and because I know what to expect, I guess.
I mean, I loved Platinum a lot. I really did enjoy Diamond and Pearl a lot. I think for the first time, I'm probably not buying both just because that world of having to trade with yourself doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, there's no proven merit to buying both.
So biggest shocker was Game Freak not working on these. Second biggest shocker, only one version of Arceus.
Yeah.
This company's really good at selling us the same game twice.
Well, but going back to what you've said, right? No online component. What would be the point of having
That's very true.
two
That's very true.
versions
You can't
if
trade
you
with
can't
yourself.
trade?
If you can't trade.
You can't trade. You can't battle. Why sell two?
Yeah.
It's interesting. Curious of how they'll do the little watch. That had like 40 different modes. There's a lot of things. I think they'll do some things right, some things wrong.
Yep.
I'm sure something will be annoying. Something will hopefully that annoying thing is in HMs. I hope Mount Cornet will not be. Mount Cornet is the worst part of the game. And it's like an important part, like, right? It's supposed to be, if you've never played Diamond and Pearl, what they did is they put a giant mountain in the middle of the map. They called it Mount Cornet. And in order to traverse Sinnoh, you have to keep cutting through this mountain. And as you unlock HMs, which at the time kind of made sense because it was a way to gatekeep areas of the game, you would go through Mount Cornet and be like, now I have strength, now I have surf, now I have rock climb. And so you would always go back to Mount Cornet. But Mount Cornet was infested with Zubats, infested with Slowpokes and Psyducks.
Pro tip, they make this item in the game called Repel.
Yeah.
That you could use.
But it also had that problem of, like, everyone makes a joke, like, you needed a Bidoof on your team because Bidoof learned 4 HMs. But the problem is, like, if you wanted to get to the Pokemon League, and I'm not joking, you needed minimum 7 HMs. You could you technically needed 8 because the 8th one would have been defogged, but most of us have pretty okay eyes, and defog wasn't as annoying as Flash. So you could get by with 7. It was like Surf, Waterfall, Rock Slide, not Rock Slide, Rock Climb. Anyways. But you needed 7, which is like, if you didn't want Bidoof on your team, like 7 moves dedicated to HMs across 6 Pokemon. And that really sucks when you're trying to go to the Pokemon League because that's your final team normally. It's just...
Well, no, you change it up right when you get there. You have your traveling team and you have your competitive team.
And you have your battling team.
But even if HMs are in, I guess that issue is slightly alleviated if you could access your PC everywhere, like in Let's Go and like Sword and Shield, because then I could just access my PC, switch to Bidoof, push the rock, switch back, move on.
I mean, there's a lot of ways that they could
Quality
not
of
have
life.
HMs. They could have HMs be like they were in Sun and Moon, where it's tied to a specific Pokemon that you call. It could be that you access your PC everywhere. Like, there's a lot of ways around it that we just... Who knows which one they're picking.
Okay, yeah. Okay, let's take one more break. We have to talk about Pokemon Snap, a little bit Pokemon Go, Question of the Week, Pokemon of the Week, and then we are done.
There's no way you're having Question of the Week.
Yeah, we're going to skip it.
It's like, let's be real. I didn't even think of a song simply because I knew there was no way you were going to allow that to happen.
Okay, we will be right back.
What is a Nidoran supposed to be?
It's a mix of porcupine,
A rabbit? Dinosaurs?
mouse,
Whales? Jackalope?
probably a horse, and hamster. Porcupine,
A rabbit?
Dinosaurs, mouse, whales,
Jackalope?
probably a horse, and hamster.
Yeah, but then like, what is a Nidoran supposed to be?
Porcupine,
A rabbit? Dinosaurs?
mouse,
Whales? Jackalope?
probably a horse, and hamster. Porcupine,
A rabbit? Dinosaurs?
mouse,
Whales? Jackalope?
probably a horse, and hamster.
We are back. All right. Can we, before we talk about Pokemon Snap?
No.
No? Okay, never mind.
No, let's not talk about Pokemon Snap either. Moving on.
I think, look, they announced 2 new Switch games.
Mm-hmm.
Both exciting. But I just thought there was going to be something more to the 25th anniversary.
True.
Yeah.
Like, they mentioned Masters, they mentioned Cafe Mix, they mentioned Pokemon Go. No Sleep, no Detective Pikachu, no movie trailer. Like, the new merchandise isn't even up on the store. Like, it just felt that the 20th anniversary had way more going on.
Think of it this way. They're treating this as a full year event. So this was the launching point. And now we will have a year's worth of fantastic revelations.
Every week, something new.
We can only hope. I just, in comparison to the 20th just seemed more hype.
Did you get your Leons and Masters?
No.
I did.
Yeah, I guess we can talk about Pokemon Masters for a hot minute. They added Leon to Masters.
They added Marnie. I have not got my Marnie.
It's a 1% pull.
Yep.
Which is the first time they've done a 1%. Usually a 5-star new character is a 2%.
Yep.
But I think Leon is a 12% chance of 5-star overall, whereas usually those banners are 10% 5-star. So even though Leon's a 1%, you have a higher chance of getting 5 stars. They're trying to really make Leon feel special. It's Leon. He does feel
Leon.
special. Yeah. Leon's cool.
It's overpowered in the game. The hands down. They've just decided that there's no other pair that matters.
And they gave 6,000 gems this weekend, which is extremely generous. They gave 3,000 for logging in on Pokemon Day, and then they gave 3,000 to celebrate the 1.5 year anniversary of Pokemon Masters. And they say that they have 2-year plans. So I guess Pokemon Masters outlives Pokemon Duel in that regards of lasting 2 years. They mentioned Cafe Mix on stream, hey, Cafe Mix is going strong, I guess.
You're getting all those golden
that.
acorns or whatever it was.
I started playing. I'm level 12. I don't love it.
Did you join the...
No, you have to be 22 to join. I'm getting there. All right. I feel like what they showed of Pokemon Snap in the Pokemon Presents video really sold Pokemon Snap finally. To me, at least.
Didn't to me.
Oh,
really? Okay.
It did to me. There was only one thing that I was like, I honestly don't care about this, but the whole rest of it.
That Venusaur jumping into the lake. Woo!
No,
that did
was
it for
cute.
me. It was cute.
No, I'm saying there was one thing that was like, I don't care about this. This does not move me. But everything else
was the online leaderboard stuff?
No.
What didn't sell you?
The stickers. I don't need stickers.
Edit and share your photos.
I'm not going to put googly eyes on a Dratini.
Not with that attitude.
So I'm on newpokemonsnap.pokemon.com. Brilliant web address here. You can now they showed that you can edit your shots in New Pokemon Snap. Photos taken during your research can also be saved to your personal album, which is separate than your Pokemon Photo Dex. When you complete a course and are about to save photos to your album, you can use the Resnap function to adjust brightness, blur, zoom, and other aspects of your photo. In Resnap, you can increase a photo's blur and adjust a photo's point of focus. You can also lighten and darken by adjusting the brightness or draw attention to your favorite part by zooming in. And then there's the photo editing mode. You can add stickers, frames, filters, and photos saved in your album. You can also make photos stand out by adding more personal touches. The Nintendo Switch Online membership sold separately, you can compete in global leaderboards with Pokemon photographers around the world in various rankings, and such as Pokemon Photo Dex score. If you're a Nintendo Online member, you can also share your photos with people around the world. You can post your favorite photos and see what kind of shots people are taking. So that was kind of the new thing they showed. It looks like they have, at least in the screenshot, they have trending photos, they have featured course, and then they have recommended. So who knows if this will be a complete disaster or...
Well, why would it be a disaster?
I don't know. Anytime you can give people a stylus and they can draw on their photos, something can go wrong.
Wait, who said that you can't draw, you can do stickers? I mean, you can put your stickers in a very interesting arrangement, but at least it's limited in some way.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are still worried that this game isn't worth $60 worth of game.
Yes.
I will say, hot take, this is the first Pokemon professor to ever... This is my dude.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I'm dating this guy.
Okay.
I'm making my trip to the Lental region.
Yeah, I mean, there was nothing more that they showed that made me think, okay, I'm really on board now. Like, all the things that they showed are things that I expected them to already include in the game.
You can throw the luminous orb at the Pokemon, and it changes the color.
Changes the color to
fire.
Blue. Like, that's not
very exciting.
Here's the thing. I'm not
Did
saying
you see how cute that Vaporeon was when you threw it and it ate the apple, and then it gets into a little smiley pose for you? What is wrong with you? Why do you hate goodness?
I don't. I here's the thing. My whole probably first interaction with this game will be watching one of you play it, because that's really interesting to me, and I don't know that I'm going to get more enjoyment out of me playing the game than, say, watching one of you play the game on a big screen.
But you can get a shiny Celebi, I'm pretty sure.
No.
Yes.
I don't think the Celebi was shiny. Back that was shiny.
It also says wild Pokemon thrive on the island of Lental region, where environments can greatly differ, making for a variety of habitats where different Pokemon expressions and behaviors can be observed. Players will be able to get their attention by playing a melody, which was in the original game.
Yeah, and then the Hoot gets all real happy. It was really cute.
Throwing Fluffroot. They will also be able to use Illumina Orbs, an invention of Professor Mir, on Pokemon to witness something out of the ordinary. I'm assuming that means Pester Ball.
Yeah.
But they didn't want to use Pester Ball because Pester Ball is kind of mean.
Yeah.
But it lights up the Pokemon.
Yeah, I think it's just like, instead of no Pester Ball, we're going to use this orb and they're going to do something cute instead of being like frustrated that you threw a smoke ball at their head. Those Charmanders got real mad when you threw Pester Balls and apples at their heads.
And Magikarp's confirmed in the game. I saw that in the...
They can even use their camera to run scans, which will be helpful to find hidden Pokemon or inspect their surroundings. As a player keeps researching a course, their research level will increase. They may discover Pokemon acting in different ways, which is like the replayability. Trainers may even encounter legendary or mythical Pokemon. We know in the first Pokemon Snap there was Moltres, Zapdos, Articuno. There was Mew. I don't think there was Mewtwo. There was like Mewtwo in the stars, but I don't think Mewtwo just showed up.
Mewtwo in the... There was a shadow, or it was in the star... I forget.
It was like the constellation.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see. I mean, like, Pokemon Snap could be an awful game, and they will sell millions of copies because nostalgia.
Yeah.
Well, and plus, like, little kids will get a lot out of it.
Yeah.
Right. Just like the on-rails component, which is the detractor for me, is perfectly fine for them.
I mean, I'm not saying it's...
Where's my
a
Poke
bad
Park
game.
Switch? Come on, man.
It's just I don't think it's a game for me yet.
Yeah.
I need to see it. I need to see the replayability of it. You know, a lot of things are catching... there's a lot of games. Like, I still haven't completed a lot of things in Sword and Shield. So, like,
Same.
We'll see. I'm very interested in watching it. I'm very interested in seeing how it goes and how people play the game, and watching people play and take pictures may encourage me to buy it. I enjoyed the first game. I'm just not yet sold on this one. Although the closest they've come to selling me on this is in the edit and share on the webpage. The mustache on the Toucanon is very, very good. It's very good.
The next set of news here. I guess we'll talk about some Pokemon Go. We did the Kanto Tour. We didn't talk about that last week because we recorded early. Good news is none of us got COVID.
Well, I'm still in 14-day quarantine. I'm not seeing anybody.
Yeah.
Well, I got tested. I'm good. So if you were around me,
and I was,
you were definitely around me. So we went to Mall of America. We played the Kanto Tour. As somebody who went to all 4 Pokemon Go Fests, I think the Kanto Tour was better than all those Go Fest. I think the things that you did, and the hour rotation change, I thought was engaging and fun.
So what I had wished is that it started with everything in the wild and it ended with everything in the wild, and the rotation was just in the middle. Because having played the whole day waiting for the rotation to come back around again was kind of frustrating. I wouldn't say it was super frustrating, but it was just like, oh, Steve needs a Jinx, and that is not coming up again for another 3 hours.
But you knew we were going to be playing anyways.
I know. But from sort of a time thing, I think it would have been more exciting for me to have everything spawning. Just, there was a ton of stuff in the first couple of hours, then they went to the regimented time, and then they ended with everything in the wild for a couple of hours. That's just me. Like, that's the complaint I sent to them. I'm like, I wish it had been open, segmented open. I did have a good time, but I can't say that I had a better time with this one than I did at Go Fest. Because
the Go Fest stuff didn't have raids.
Yeah, I mean, the raids were fun. To a point, when we were chasing the 400th time we were doing
to
Mewtwo.
The point where Greg and Will were back
like,
in the
we're
hotel
done.
room hanging out, and other folks were out still doing raids.
You guys went. So it was a 12-hour event. It was from 9 to 9, which I think is way too long.
It was very long, and I was very
tired.
Wait.
We didn't give the most important update on this whole event.
Okay,
I won. Will Anderson won. Because I finished everything.
You finished
everything.
And I had no interest in finishing
anybody
everything.
Else.
I thought the collection things were cute. I am not mad that things were in raids. Again, because we were in a location where we could do a lot of raids. I understand why people may have been upset for people who didn't go to a location. It was a risky choice in a risky time. So I get that complaint. We made a different choice. We took a lot of precautions to be able to make that choice, so the raids were never a barrier to us. There were a lot of raids. Halfway through the day, I was really sick of running into the trainers at stops and having to say, no, I do not want to battle you anymore.
Which is the complaint for people who played at home. They didn't see those trainers.
And the people who didn't see them. I thought that was handled really weird. That was that's a part that I was like, you need to tweak that a lot more.
The thing that I saw that I do agree with is, like, put the trainers in a balloon. Have the balloon come down. Instead of saying Team Rocket, it says Go Fest. That would help the people at home. That would have...
Yeah.
Like, a trainer standing on top of a Pokemon is still super frustrating, and that's what happened at the last Go Fest, which was, like, over the summer, you could just play anywhere, but there was still Team Rocket people just standing on top of Pokemon that you want to tap on. Look, I don't want to battle you right now. I just want to tap on this Cloyster.
Right.
So you guys got to play like me and use your Pokeball Plus to do the majority of it. I wasn't tapping on anything.
I didn't want to fill up my space. I thought the amount of shinies we got were good. I felt like maybe I expected the shinies to happen more in the wild than they did. Like, I got more off of my incense than I did in the wild, just running into them, and that felt a little off. That being said, I showed up at 9 in the morning and I left at 9 at night, and I had an amazingly great time. I just can't attribute all of that to the event.
No, some of it was that delicious pizza.
Oh, that was so good.
Pizza was good. So I think I think overall it was worth the $12. And we ran a poll on our Twitter. We had like 900 people participate in it. Obviously, those are people who listen to the show or who follow the Twitter for news, so they're obviously Pokemon fans. But I think it was like 52% said it was worth it, 48% said it was not.
I was in the
interesting.
I was in the not.
And I would probably assume that a lot of people that said it was not were people who played at home. I would be very, very curious. But in a sense where we went to probably what I still think one of the best places in the United States to play, Mall of America. They had 8 gyms, 25 Pokestops, I think. It was gyms, any raid, Tauros, Bellsprout. There was no Bellsprout raids, but if there was a Bellsprout, filled up instantly.
Yeah.
Didn't have to talk to anyone. Didn't have to do anything. If Greg got into a 20 raid, Will would get into his own 20 raid. I would get into my own 20 raid. It would just instantly fill up.
It looked, when we started, it was not that way early in the morning. I was a little worried when we first started. Like, ooh.
When you guys, because Will and Greg, they kind of tapped out around 7:30ish, and then me and Chris continued grinding.
Will and I had a wonderful time, enjoying each other's company. Watching a weird chateau thing that was left on
that
HGTV.
Horrible HGTV
it was
thing.
So bad. And neither of us cared enough to change the channel.
But after 7:30 in the Mall of America, it was still easy to get like 7-8 people in your raid, but it was no longer filling up. Like I think overall, at least in that area, people were done after 10 hours.
I mean, it was a long day. It was,
and I mean, right, for me, I don't want our listeners to think that Will Anderson gave up. No, that is 100% incorrect. I literally had completed not only like the Professor Willow research, but what is the Today research? Is that just called special research or whatever?
Special Today research.
Yeah, I had completed all of that, which means like I evolved every Pokemon from Kanto that could evolve. The only reason for me to be out with my very, very tired legs, continuing to walk the Mall of America, would be to try to get a shiny Mewtwo. And guess what? Chris didn't get a shiny Mewtwo. Guess what? Steve didn't get a shiny Mewtwo. So I'll get my shiny Mewtwo some other day. Okay?
I've been sitting on 20 premium raid passes for a year and a half. I finally was able to spend them. I mean, when you started the Kanto Tour, they gave you like what 3, 4, 5 incense or something like that.
There was a lot.
They gave you 3 remote raid passes. They gave you 10 or maybe 9 daily free raid passes you could do. So if in raid passes alone, they gave you more than $12 worth. Again, if you were at home, you probably didn't take advantage of those. So I totally get it. But in a situation where you were out and about and you were doing raids and you were joining raids, you got your value there. I think there was at points they gave star pieces during some of the research as well, and they gave you the shiny Ditto, and they gave you the rare encounters of the Snorlaxes and the Lapras, and the shiny odds were increased. I think it was like Niantic has definitely gotten better at these events over time. Every event they have been doing.
Definitely.
Minus maybe the Mr. Mime event. But these big events that probably take a lot of planning, a lot of setup, they have really knocked it out of the park. I don't think, though, I still think if Niantic had the choice to do an IRL Go Fest, they would still do it.
Oh, heck
they would do this.
Makes so much more money.
Yeah.
Let me throw that in as well. Not only did I win by getting all the researches complete before everybody else, I completed like 3 other researches that I had not finished.
Oh, you did your Victini one or something like that?
I did the Victini one. I finished the Mr. Galarian, Mr. Mime, Mr. Rhyme one. Heck, I was busy.
Yeah, you got a lot. You got a lot accomplished that day. I completed everything that I wanted to do. I was more than happy at the end of the day to go sit down, having not walked in literally a year. Walking was interesting. Seeing the Levi stuff in person was also a nice thing.
Yeah,
those pants look a lot better in person than they did on the website.
And the classic American thing, we either have extra small or extra large.
It wasn't even extra large, because I would have bought an extra large. It was extra large is what they had left.
Yeah.
I will say the negative for the day, or at least one of the negatives for the day, was, I'm not going to name names, but all you folks with your jank... Boy, it's hard to control my language now. Your jank remote raids that you persisted in inviting us to over and over.
I appreciated it.
Liar.
I think I did too many raids though. The problem when you're in a raid is because the problem when you're in a raid is you can't catch, you can't spin. I mean, you can Pokeball plus catch, but I spent a lot of time in raids, because what would happen is somebody would invite me to a raid and I would be like I haven't done a raid with them today. Maybe they need my help. Okay, can we talk about something?
Yes. That's all we do on this show.
Pokemon Go players frustrate me so much. How can you go through the entire day, the entire Go Fest, and not bring a Mega Pokemon? Just Mega Evolve anything.
I didn't realize that I could Mega Evolve my... That's another research I finished that day.
Look,
I didn't know I could Mega Evolve that Mega Beedrill.
None of us benefited from your Mega Houndoom once.
No.
Ever.
Anytime
none of us cared.
Where's Chris?
We benefited by having shorter raids. Is what we benefited.
Because you got through the raids faster.
Here's the cost-benefit analysis. The 2 seconds of time we saved in raid was off-put by the 5 hours of Steve going, bring in the Mega Houndoom!
Oh, yeah,
you
I'm
should
so
be
great.
happy I'm
so great. I got the Mega Houndoom.
Look at me bringing Houndoom.
Okay, whoever
for
was
9 hours of him going on about Mega Houndoom.
That Malibu guy had like a Gloom and a Butterfree, and I don't know what else he had, but Mega Houndoom swept that dude so many times. I only battled that dude. I don't know who the dude in the Pikachu outfit was, or the girl in the Explorer hat, or the dude with the 3D glasses. Give me Malibu, because Mega Houndoom sweeping the floor with that guy.
I swept with all the other trainers with a lot of other things, and what did you not hear from me the entire day? Mega Houndoom!
When my Mega Houndoom ran out, I should have did Mega Gyarados though. Oh boy, were we sweeping with Mega Gyarados when I pulled that bad boy out. But the point being is, all these people at Mall of America doing raid after raid after raid, you know, they're not at home, easy to invite people. I invited 5 people every time I joined in a raid, and most of those people never got in because there were just so many people at Mall of America that were just jumping in. And it was like I saw so many people at level 41, 42, 43, 44, these people over level 40, none of them using megas. Now there wasn't a mega that was perfect for every single encounter, but in my situation, I was like, well, I want Mewtwo. I'll do as many Mewtwo's as possible. I'll pick a dark mega. And you don't have a lot of options. You got Gyarados, you got Houndoom. But you could have done like Mega Ampharos if you wanted to do like Zapdos, or not Zapdos, but Articuno Moltres.
Mega Beedrill's not good against
You could
Mewtwo?
do Mega Beedrill against Mewtwo. Yeah, Bug against Mewtwo. But in the very few situations where I was Mega and there was like maybe 2 or 3 people Mega, there was a significant difference of like clearing up 30 seconds faster or 20 seconds faster. And that was just more time getting mad at the trainer standing on top of Pokemon that you can like because we did so many raids back to back. That time to me eventually added up. And also, like, I don't know how you're level 44 and not think, like, just pop on a Mega. You're going to get Mega Candy in return. You're going to help out the other people. It's going to be slightly easier. Like, what possible other reason would you be not Mega? Like, this is the time to Mega. If any other time existed, playing for 12 hours is the best time to Mega because of the gameplay we're doing. Like, I understand not megaing today if you're only maybe going to do 1 or 2 raids, but in a like, I don't know. It just kind of felt weird to me that no one really megaed anything. Like, I would look through the roster and it's like, oh, no one has
Having met
megas.
this one person who is way too into megas, I will never mega because I don't want to be that person.
Every day on my Twitch stream, people coming in, oh, I wish they would bring megas to Sword and Shield. Y'all ain't even using them in Pokemon Go. Bring the megas. I want to see them. Come
You couldn't
on.
see anything?
Jeez.
I know. I never even pay attention to the other things that are out on the field.
Mega
I'm just like
Houndoom.
tap, 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 tap,
barely
tap, tap.
looking at the screen. I'm just tapping on the
I'm
dot.
like tap, tap, tap. I wish I could get some boba tea, man. The line at the boba tea place so long. Tap, 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 tap,
Mega
tap.
Houndoom finally got his servants due this weekend. For years in X and Y and Omega Ruby, no one thought Mega Houndoom. I put him to work.
Yeah, you told us about it non-stop.
I'm all about the Mega. Okay. There is the season is changing in Pokemon Go. They introduced seasons 3 months ago. It was like the season of celebration. This is the Pokemon rotation. Like, some Pokemon will never spawn when a season existed. They're going to be rotating it come March 1st. Probably today, listening to the podcast. So the first season, season 1 of Pokemon Go, was called Season of Celebration. This is technically the second season. It's called Season of Legends. Landorus, Thundurus, Tornadus coming back. Their Therian forms are coming. New Mega Pokemon will be coming. Different Pokemon will be in the wild for the Northern Hemisphere and the Southern Hemisphere. Different Pokemon will be in eggs. There will be season exclusive research. And there will be other bonuses going forward. We're not going to go through the whole thing. This podcast is already way too long. But we can talk more in depth. We'll probably actually have more information about the season after March 1st that we can talk about. And that's, I think that's it. Leon, Marnie, those came to Masters. I think Cafe Mix had a couple, like, Celebi return and stuff like that. There was supposed to be Pokemon 25 merch. It went up on the store last Monday. There was no pictures. Then it got pulled from the store. It's still not up. They put a $400 train on the store. They put a Master Ball on the store. The Master Ball sold out. I think the Master Ball was $120. It was limited to 5,000 people. That's gone. Train is still up there if you want a $400 Pokemon train. But the actual 25 anniversary merch never went up, although I would expect it probably goes up later this week. I am confident throughout this 2.5 hour long podcast, we have missed something. But the nice thing about this podcast is it comes out every single week. So
True.
We will get to whatever we missed next week. We get more information about Diamond and Pearl or Legends. We can talk about that. If you have your own opinions of that stuff, you can let us know on Twitter, Discord, YouTube comments, podcast comments. Those don't exist. I lied. But Will, give us our Pokemon of the week.
Last week's Pokemon of the week, it's a mythical from Alola. It's not Zeraora. It was in a movie. Takes no damage from normal or fighting type moves, and I used to be scared of the creature it was based on when I was camping as a Cub Scout.
It's
Chatot.
never Chatot.
Why would Chatot
The mythical Pokemon Chatot.
Chatot takes damage from normal and fighting type moves.
It's Marshadow.
It is Marshmallow, yes.
I just typed marshmallow into Google. Marshadow.
What do you got? Anything good?
No, probably not.
That's not a lot. Let me see if it's got a
No
shuffle
other
icon.
Pokemon has the same type combination as Marshadow.
Yeah.
Marshadow is the only Pokemon whose stab combination is unresisted by any existing Pokemon. The only type combination to resist both Ghost and Fighting is currently unused Normal Ghost. Oh, there's not a Normal Ghost Pokemon? Crazy.
Well, because it's like you can't be normal and a ghost.
Yeah.
You gotta pick,
Not with
buddy.
that attitude. Marshadow is the last Pokemon in Alola and the Pokemon Sun and Moon Poké Dex. That's really bad trivia. Come on. Marshadow's effort value yields 2 attack and 1 speed, which is unique. Yeah, because you're knocking out multiple Marshadows over
I
and
know,
over.
just like, why would you?
The shuffle icon is very good.
Shuffle icon is good.
Shiny?
Shiny is bad.
Is
Because
it
it
shiny
looks
locked?
No, the shiny's never been released, but the shiny is bad because it looks identical until it does that thing where its cape comes out,
Oh.
and then the cape is different. It's like instead of green, it's like purple.
Oh.
So you
Never
can't
even
tell
knew
it's
it
shiny
had
until
a
it.
Cape.
You know when it goes into like when it uses its signature move.
Have I ever used Marshadow in
I have.
anything?
Yeah,
It
in the
was
Mewtwo
big
raids
during
and
the
Sword and Shield,
Mewtwo raids.
Marshadow
Of
was
course,
super,
I've
super good.
I brought my Mega Houndoom in Sword and Shield. What a mistake.
Mega Houndoom!
Yeah, Marshadow's all right. What about next
I
week?
love
All right.
Marshadow. I think Marshadow's my favorite mythical.
Wow.
Wow, bold
Deep
claim.
cuts.
It's so cute.
All right. This Pokemon, I've probably done this one before, but it's been a tough week. Another all but forgotten Pokemon, an Alolan Pokemon that has only ever appeared in Alola. It chills the warm waters of the sunny islands, but it is not a water type. The Pokemon it evolves from is also not water type. One of its types is weak to the other, so that it only resists bug, ice, and dark types. Dark type attacks. I'm sorry. Got to read this more clearly. This Pokemon is never found in the wild. You can only obtain this Pokemon if you evolve another Pokemon at Mount Lanakila, which is pretty far from the water. Who was the first person to ever obtain this Pokemon? There you go. That should be enough.
Okay.
You're
All
never
right.
going to get it because it's like the most forgotten Pokemon I've ever heard.
I'm sure we got smart listeners. They'll figure it out.
I think I know which one it is.
We will be back next week. Everyone really wanted more than a 2-hour show, so boy, I think we delivered. I expect everyone to listen to every single minute of this.
Remember, time and a half for overtime. Thanks.
If you listen to this and you made it to the end and you come into my Twitch stream, the key word will be
Sniffle grips.
Yes, Sniffle Grips.
Sniffle grips. So if you say Sniffle grips in the Twitch
Grips.
chat,
It's with a P at the end.
Grips.
SNIFFLEGRIPS.
if you say that in the Twitch chat, I will know you've made it to the end of this episode. It's going to be 2 people. Hopefully you enjoyed. Happy Pokemon Day. Happy Pokemon Anniversary. If you want to follow Will on Twitter, it's at Wash in the Sink. Greg on Twitter, at White Wing. I'm on Twitter, at Dragging a Lake. We are doing a giveaway right now for a Nintendo Switch Lite and a copy of Pokemon Sword or Shield and a bunch of G Fuel because I'm partnered with G Fuel. So if you would like to enter, that will be in the show notes, completely free. You really just have to follow the account on Twitch, and then if you follow on Twitter and other stuff, you get more entries, but totally free. That giveaway will be going till mid-March, so you have plenty of time, but it's open to worldwide and open to all our listeners. So that is going on. If you want to follow the podcast, we're on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all at PKMNcast. We just hit 10,000 YouTube subscribers, so thank you everyone who's followed the YouTube. We are putting unique content up on Mondays and Fridays, and the podcast goes up on YouTube on Mondays. Although, I don't know, maybe we'll put the podcast on its own feed. I don't know how the YouTube algorithm works. I don't know if the podcast is hurting or helping or any baby steps. And then if you want to join the subreddit, r/supereffective. So that's all the socials. Thank you for listening. This has been another episode of the Pokemon Podcast, and we are
Super effective.
Super Unova remakes confirmed soon. Yes. Start the chant.
Start
Black
demanding those
and
Unova
white.
remakes.
Black
always
and white.
black and white, but your
Black
heart
and white.
always knows what's right.